Okay, we are live. Today is Friday, the 10th of August 2018. We're supposed to be having a Spanish night tonight. So far, we have Astral, Patricia with us, conspiracy music guru.
Hola, amigos. La tierra es plana, ¿no?
What was that?
That means, hello, friends, the earth is flat.
Hey, good words.
Hello, everyone.
Jag säger det på dansk, jorden är flat. I'll just say it in Danish.
Hello, darling. Patricia. We are waiting for a few more people to join, but what did you tell me before we went live? It's what? What's the custom?
Well, here in Spain, I've been here for 4 years now, and I think everybody knows, don't they, globally or across the plane, that it is very mañana in Spain. It's almost polite to be late in a way. So just expect them to be late if they're Spanish. So don't worry about it. It's just crack on.
Why is it polite to be late? Just asking.
What do you mean where? I mean in Spain.
Why? Why?
I don't know. It's just a more laid back. I mean, as I said before on this show, I've not really integrated too much in the last 4 years. One, I've been incredibly busy, and two, my Spanish is not up to scratch. So I've not really integrated into the culture too much. But it's just the way of life. Everything's just a little bit more laid back. It's that's saying mañana has been there for years and years. It's for a reason. Let's do it tomorrow. Let's do it tomorrow. That can wait. That can wait. Somebody turns up an hour late. It's just it just gets shrugged off. Lateness is not rudeness in Spain, whereas in England, it is.
I think a little bit,
isn't it here?
A little bit like Jamaica as well, where there it's that soon come, and you're just waiting for your food or whatever you're waiting for, because they're just so laid back,
Yeah, I kind of like that in a way. I haven't got into the whole siestas and that and having to sleep in the afternoon. I struggle sleeping at night, especially with all this flat earth information. We spoke before we came on air. It's hard to sleep. You've got trying to take in all of this information. So sleeping in the daytime is, I don't think I'm ever going to manage to do that. But, they do a bit of work in the morning, they sleep in the afternoon, and then they go to work a bit later. And maybe the heat's got something to do it as well. I mean, it's 40 degrees in the sunshine at the moment, and you try working in that.
Yeah. We were just saying earlier as well that all this information that there is now about flat earth, I mean, it's easy for new people now towards that are just learning about the flat earth. Oh, hang on a second. People that are learning about flat earth now, there is that much information. There's millions of videos. You've got podcasts. You can research information, no problem. I mean, like Ditra, Dave out of Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole, was saying he listens to things on his device while he's driving or while you're out traveling, when you're in bed. All this information, you can get it 24/7 now, so it's awesome. And we really need to get the message out, don't we?
Indeed. It's like, as I said before, it's like your first time learning something decent and something tangible, something you can digest and get your teeth into, before all that, all the schooling and so-called education is just indoctrination. Once you realize that and you get on board with flat earth, you're like, holy shit, I'm actually learning something unbelievable. And it is an obsession in a way. It's like my music videos. I'm quite obsessed with, putting information in there and getting the message out, and just, it's given me, flat earth has given me such a boost in my creativity and my music. I thank whoever for flat earth, because what it's done to me and what it's doing to people across the plane is just, giving them a whole new boost of life. That's certainly what it's done for me.
Really pleased for you there, Alex.
Thank you very much.
Conspiracy music guru. Yeah, we haven't had any of those little side.
You was just mentioning a minute ago, Alex, about the conference. Do you want to tell us?
Yeah, I've been watching the live stream on the Flat Earth International Conference in Canada, and it's been great. I mean, the one in Denver last year was fantastic. This is the second one, the first one of its kind in Canada. So they're making history there, and I've been watching some of the speakers. Globebusters just blew it out the park. Jaron did a piece, and Rob Skiba, and then Bob Nodell got up and did a solo bit on gravity. All fantastic, and all talking about not being on the offensive all the time and now being on the defensive, and they're starting to attack the media. And I think that kind of stance is fantastic for flat earth, because it's been ridiculed for far too long, and now it's time to say, we're not going away. We've got all this information, prove us wrong. And the conference was certainly echoing that sentiment. And it was, you know, so far, I mean, it's still ongoing now. But from what I've seen so far, it's just been absolutely fantastic and really well presented and really well, you know, put on. So kudos to Robbie Davidson for doing that event. And the one in November coming up in Denver, I'll be a part of that and just cannot wait to be, you know.
Yeah, that's where you're singing, isn't it?
That's where I'm singing. Yeah, that's where I'm, you know, singing for me supper. So that'll be great. I just can't wait to be surrounded by like-minded people and, you know, surrounded by my idols, you know, the people that I've learned off for the last few years. And just that's going to be a surreal experience. And, you know, I'm gearing up for that and can't wait. But it's this information now and the conferences that are happening all over the world it's like a freight train. You just can't stop this information. And I just can't wait to see where it's going to be in 5 or 10 years' time.
Yeah, exactly. Food for thought there.
Yeah, very nicely put, Alex. Yeah, and you're very excited about going to Denver, aren't you? You were saying before you came on.
Yeah, I mean, I've never been to America before. This whole flat earth thing has just given me such a boost in creativity and making music and music videos. And, you know, my living is ringtones. And I thought I was destined to just be sitting here making ringtones. But then flat earth comes along and just, you know, blows your brains apart. And then all of a sudden I've got this boost of creativity. And I'm in the studio just doing this stuff I love, you know, and I can't wait to present what I've made over the last year at the conference, you know, singing live as well as, you know, and, you know, as I said before, just being in that environment. And yeah, I can't wait. First time in America. And yeah, it's only, what, 2.5 months away. So it soon comes around.
Ooh, soon come.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've been practicing, getting your songs together, haven't you?
Yeah, I'm currently making my 8th video, and it's called Space is Fake. And it's taking because I'm trying to step it up with every video that I make. I'm trying to get better and better and better. So they're just taking longer and longer and longer. So I've been quite absent with my content on my channel for quite a while, but there's a reason behind it. One reason is, you know, I was making a video every month for 7 months and I got quite obsessive with it and I made myself quite ill, actually. So I'm taking a break from, you know, not being so obsessive with it. And I've got other aspects of my life that I have to sort of take care of. And of course, the videos are taking longer to do because I want them to be better. So by the time the album is released, there should be, you know, 10 fantastic songs on the album, which will be released also to coincide with the release date of the date of the conference. So it's going to be the conference and releasing the album and performing live on stage and flying to America. It's just going to be a whole whirlwind. So I'm gearing up for it and I'm excited and it's all going well. I really can't wait to release the album. I can't wait to see what people think of it.
Awesome. Can I just ask you, have you heard ODD's music?
Yes, I have. He's got some great stuff out there. Yeah, he's not done something in a while, but lyrically, he's brilliant. But he does a more broader scope, you know, talks a lot about Illuminati and the New World Order, and he sort of encompasses a lot into one song, whereas my songs, I concentrate one on gravity, one on the moon hoax, one on space, one on satellites, you know, but he sort of encompasses everything into one song. Although saying that, he has done one song called Cartoon Ball, which is all about, obviously, the Photoshopped Rob Simmons Blue Marble. Yeah, but his stuff is awesome.
Yeah. And also just the way that he can change his style of things, like, you know, I mean, I've listened to a few of his tracks. He's awesome. He really is good. But
you know, a lot of people have said on my channel, have I ever considered, you know, doing a duet with him, which I'd absolutely do. I know he's more of a fan of my usual natural voice and less of the comedic, you know, flat earth man stuff. So, you know, I would be happy to do a duet with him if that opportunity ever arises.
Cool. Let's hope that comes one day then.
Yeah, I mean, our music is so powerful. I mean, it can reach people that it wouldn't normally reach. You know, it can open doors. It can lead a horse to water. You know, I think music can be very powerful like that, which is why I do what I do. You know, I certainly don't do it for money. There's certainly no money involved in what I'm, well, very, very little anyway. But it's about the message, and yeah, that's why I continue to do what I do. And yeah, if I could team up with him and do a song, it would be, you know, with the amount of subscribers that he's got on his channel, you know, it could reach quite a wide audience.
Yeah. Also, another thing that I find interesting is that when you do listen to music, you know, you listen to the lyrics, even though, like, at first you don't know what the lyrics are about. Any song, take any song, when you first hear it the first time, it's like, what? And if you like it, obviously you like it. It sits with you. Something sits with music, doesn't it? Something resonates with you. Yeah. And then after you hear it one time, you hear it 2 times, then you start dissecting the lyrics. You know, you get a line or 2 at a time, and then you get 3 or 4 or 7 lines or whatever. Eventually, you know the whole song. You know how it goes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's why I'm a fan of the hook. You know, in the music industry, the chorus is known as the hook. That's the bit that hooks people in. So I make all my choruses as catchy as possible. So even if you've, not taken any of the lyrical content, because it's quite fast and there's a lot of information there, at least you'll walk away from the first time listening to one of my songs humming the chorus, which is why I try and make the chorus very important lyrically as well. If I can get people humming, "Don't believe in gravity," I mean, I think that's great to get people singing that, kids singing that, just the hook, the catchy hook of the chorus. So, and then it does draw you in, and you start listening to the other lyrics, and you can lead a horse to water, I think.
Well, exactly. That's my whole point of the thing. What I was going to say is that when you do listen to music, eventually, once you've listened to the tune, once you've dissected the lyrics, and once you absorb the lyrics, it's like, what? This is about gravity and space and NASA and bubbles and this, that, and the other, and eventually. It will lead them to researching flat Earth, surely, because
absolutely,
if these songs are hitting and they're coming out and people are hearing them and they're all over YouTube and everyone who's a flat earther has got them on their channels, they'll spread the message.
I've had people personally contact me and say, thank you for your music, it helped wake me up, it helped remove my cognitive dissonance, and I use your songs as icebreakers. I send them to all my friends, to get people to investigate. So if music's, I've personally had people thank me for that. So if that's what the music is doing, if I could just wake one person up, hallelujah.
Yeah, brilliant. Because that one person can also wake one person,
Yeah. Yeah, it's the ripple effect.
You need a bigger gig then, don't you?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, as I said before, I'm quite happy in my studio, not having to contend with drunken people in pubs. I've done my apprenticeship, but with that, I've been in pub after club after pub after pub, and you've been surrounded by alcohol and drunken people. And I've done that, for years and years and years. Now I'm quite happy doing my music and my kind of activism, if you want to call it that, in my studio, locking myself away from the general public. I kind of like that. But if Flat Earth does go mainstream and, I get that phone call, we've got a gig here for you and there's going to be 5,000 people attending and we want to pay you for your flight and your hotel, I'm going to say, yeah, absolutely. As long as it's not costing me money, I will do the gigs. I'll come out of retirement and start gigging again. You just don't know what's around the corner.
I'll be a roadie as well.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to need someone. Yeah, cool.
I'll be down. I'm your roadie.
You got it.
Cheers, man. Yeah. So anyway, can I just ask you, how's the weather been there today? Because it's been very cold here today, windy and cloudy and just almost like winter, almost.
Oh, really? Well, it's still very, very hot and very humid. We're still about sort of 30 to 35 in the shade and 40 in the sun. But today has been the first cloudy day in weeks, if not months. Yeah. But it's still very humid. You've got to have your aircon on if you want to sleep. But no, it's really hot.
It's just weird that
it's cooled down quite a lot here today.
Bring it on. The hotter the better.
So many days, and then it gets a little bit warmer next weekend. But it's not going to rain. It's just going to be a bit cloudy and a bit cooler.
We need rain here. We haven't had rain for months, and the garden's starting to suffer a little bit. I have to.
Well, neither have we. We haven't had any rain either, for a change.
That is a surprise, isn't it? Christ.
It is.
Yeah.
Just for a complete. You know how wet it is here usually.
Yes,
so
I do.
Whenever.
Yeah. Okay. Excuse me for 1 second. I'm just going to have a quick beer out of my fridge. A non-alcoholic beer, Oh.
Really? Are they very nice? I never fancied any of them.
They're not very nice at all, but they're kind of acquired taste. The more you drink of them, the more okay they are. But I've not been drinking. I've sort of made it a bit of a mission not to stay off the booze. I had a couple of little health issues a month or so back, and I think they were alcohol related. It's very, very easy to drink in Spain, when you've got a nice, sitting by the pool and it's nice and hot. And it's a slippery slope. So I sort of made the decision not to drink, and I've done a month off the booze now. And I thought, I fancy a drink tonight while I'm having a chat with my buddies. So I've bought this 0% or sin alcohol, they call it, zero alcohol. And it's okay. It feels like I'm having a beer at least.
Sort of. I never fancied those.
No, they're not. They're okay. It's not like the real thing, but hey.
there's some that taste kind of all right, you know. I don't need to mention any names. I'm not advertising anybody, but, you know, I live in Denmark and there's 2 famous brands over here and they make the, you know, no alcohol. So, I mean, yeah, they're all right.
Yeah. Well, I can honestly report that staying off the booze for a month, I feel fantastic. So I would recommend it if anybody wants to try that. It's not hard. It's not easy if you're a drinker.
Especially, you know, because that's what it is, isn't it? Beaches and drinks over there.
Well, yeah, and I've you know, I've been a musician for most of my life, and I've been gigging in the pubs and the clubs and that since I was, you know, Christ, I think I did my first gig when I was 8 years old in an old people's home playing the piano. And you know, you just surround. I was born into an alcoholic family and surrounded by alcohol as soon as I, you know, entered this world. And then going into the gigging and the singing and the DJing and all that, just surrounded by alcohol constantly. So it's been a massive part of my life. So for me to sort of, you know, knock it on the head for a month was quite an achievement, really.
Mm.
Yeah. Is it beers or wine for you?
Oh, both. I love red wine and I love a beer. You know, it's just you know, I love red wine. What can I say? You know, a glass of red wine with a meal is fantastic, and a little smoke afterwards. You know, it's just always been part of my life. But I'm trying to be healthier now. You know, I've gone vegan, gone plant-based vegan, and now I'm sort of eating 80% raw. So I've given up an awful lot. You know, I've given up meat, I've given up dairy, and I've given up alcohol. And, you know, I'm just trying to clean my act up a little bit.
Yeah. It's always good to do that as well. You know, I mean, I'm getting on in years now. I told you I'm 103. And, well, I became vegetarian. I'm not vegan because I do like to have eggs and a bit of cheese every now and again, you know. Yeah, woe is me. But I kind of like eating raw food, you know, fruits and vegetables. They are nice and they do taste better. Plus, you save so much time cooking. You don't need to cook, man.
Exactly. That's where we've got it wrong, isn't it? You know, all these cookery shows, I'm sure, is part of the social conditioning and the programming, because if you just symbolize it and just have a bowl of fruit on hand, so when you get hungry, just pick up an apple or a banana or a peach or some pineapple. You know, I have a fruit bowl every morning. It's so much easier. You take all the cooking and all the ingredients and all of this, you know, this crap out of it. We should just be picking up fruit and eating it, shouldn't we?
Yeah. I mean, it's like, how easy is it to eat a banana? One, it's in its own little wrapper, and 2, it's simple, you know.
Yeah.
And it's not only that, it's good for you, very good for you.
Yeah, and you feel better as well once you've eaten a big bowl of fruit, of loads of different fruits. You know, you're getting your 10 a day just from that bowl of fruit. And you feel better about yourself, and you feel energized. And, you know, there's just something psychological about it as well. You don't feel weighed down after a meal as well. You know, like that food coma that you have after a Sunday lunch or something like that. You know, you don't get any of that. You know, you should be eating food and getting energized for the next few hours, not wanting to sleep. So I think we've got it wrong.
You never feel bloated after eating a bit, you know, a few bananas, apples, oranges, whatever, do you?
No, you want to go and do something. That's the difference. I mean, I do feel completely different after my new, you know, sort of health kick. So, you know, long may it continue. Yeah.
Hats off.
Thanks. It's hard.
Well done for having a go, though.
Yeah, I'll have a go. I mean, I'm 46, and I've spent, you know, the first 30 odd years of my life, you know, being tipsy. Or I know what it's like to be tipsy. I know what it's like to be drunk. I know what it's like to be out of my bloody mind. I've done all of that. So I thought, well, why not try the second half of my life, just being sober, see what that brings, you know, eating healthy. Will I get, you know, will I be more creative? Will I be more articulate? Will I feel like I'm gaining brain cells instead of killing them? You know, so it's just like kind of like a bit of an experiment for me, really, just to see how I feel by laying off the shit for a good 6 months, just to see what it's like. I mean, I'm sitting here smoking weed and tobacco, so I'm not right the way there yet. But, you know, from what I've done so far, I feel great.
Good. Can I ask you, is weed legal over there? It is, isn't it?
Yes, it is, yeah. You have grow shops, you know, on every corner. You can't, you know, it's not as liberal as, you know, say Amsterdam. You can't, you know, smoke it on the streets or in cafes or anything like that, but you are allowed to smoke it in the privacy of your own home, and you are allowed to grow a couple of plants. You know, I think it's 2 per person.
All right.
But I'm not great with THC. You know, if I smoke too much, I can have a little, you know, a bit of a paranoid trip. So what I've done is I've sourced high CBD strains and low THC. I'm actually smoking one that is less than 1% THC. So it gives you no psychotic effects or whatever. So you don't get any paranoia if you're to take too much, but it's just a nice, relaxing smoke without any of the, you know, high. Basically, you don't get high from smoking it. So that's what I'm smoking at the moment. Less than 1% THC. Your normal strains would be around 20% THC.
Yeah, what's the percentage of CBD in that then?
It doesn't give you a percentage of the CBD. It just says high in CBD and gives you a THC percentage rating when you look at the seeds information. So
I was just thinking that you could make tea out of that, couldn't you?
Oh, you definitely can make tea out, but you can make anything out of it. I mean, you can make tea out of cannabis leaves. So, you know, when you're growing the plant, and some people take a lot of the leaves off to prune them down a little bit, save every part of the plant. You know, you can withdraw the cannabinoids from the leaves and make your own CBD oil. And that's something that I plan to do next year, is making a bunch of CBD oil, because, you know, the benefits for that of CBD oil are, you know, well, that's out there, isn't it? It's just a miracle plant.
Yeah. And that's simple to make, isn't it? It's just solvent, isn't it?
Yeah, it's you use ethanol, which is like a 99% alcohol, and you soak it in alcohol, which I don't really like the idea of doing that, really soaking it in some sort of alcohol. But you can, you know,
it does evaporate all, and it gets washed off as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does get washed off, and you can burn some of the excess alcohol or ethanol off. But I would still think there would be some trace elements there. But there are other ways. I think you can use coconut oil to withdraw the cannabinoids, the THC and the CBD from the plant. And there's a more natural way of doing it. I think I'm going to look into it next year and start making my own CBD oil. Hopefully, that's the plan anyway.
Right. Well, if you remember this name, there's a guy called Rick Stein, Stein, I believe. And he had this, well, just look it up. He tells you how to make it on the internet, you know, and it's relatively simple and very, very well presented, you know. Yeah,
I think that the name Rick rings a bell. I've probably seen a couple of his videos. Yeah, but it is a pretty simple process. You just dunk it in the ethanol, and I think it withdraws the cannabinoids, and then it ends up like an oily substance, which you then strain off, and then you burn off the excess, and then you've got it.
Doesn't it?
Sorry?
It just separates them.
Exactly. It's not difficult to do. Ideally you need to be in a place where you can grow cannabis legally. Thankfully, I'm in a place where I can grow cannabis legally, but only a couple of plants. But you can certainly make enough oil, you know, for a year. You know, with 2 or 4 plants. You know, there's 2 of us living here, so 2 per person, 4 plants. We can certainly make enough CBD oil. You know, for us for the year, if we wanted, you know, to help with all sorts of things, you know, sleep, for instance, you know, you grow certain strains of marijuana that are very good for relaxation. You withdraw the cannabinoids from those plants and you make the oil, and then you've got a CBD oil for sleep. And that's, you know, that's got to be 10 times better, or 100,000 times better than taking sleeping pills. So it depends what you want. If you want a, you know, some kind of creative vibe, if you want a high energetic vibe, you'd use sativa strains. You know, if you wanted to, you know, to get more creative or more philosophical, there are different strains that do different things. So, I'm going to be looking into that next year, and hopefully, if I want to get into the studio and get really creative, I'll take a little bit of creative CBD oil. You know, have my own little CBD pharmacy.
Yeah, I think also another good thing about CBD is that, you know, when you look at the research that's been done on it and the tests that they've done on patients and what have you, know, the positive results that have ensued because of what they've been experiencing, you know, like, I don't know if anyone's heard about that young child. Well, there's many stories, but this young child was having fits. They gave the child was actually on lots of medication. They stopped with the medication and started treatment with CBD oil, and immediately, just after, like, you know, a few minutes, there was a massive difference, and the fits had stopped, and, you know, this child was like having seizures. I don't know.
Didn't then a legal case ensue after that, I believe?
Possibly, yeah. I mean, I've read so many different stories and things, but I remember there was a couple. They were having to move from where they were living to another state so that they could get the treatment, because they couldn't get the treatment in the state that they were living in. I'm going back a few years now, maybe about 6 or 7 years. Not even that, I don't think. Probably not even that far back, but.
There's so many stories of that, of children, you know, having fits and whatever. And there's a video that I saw came up on my Facebook feed of a guy who had Parkinson's, and he was shaking like you wouldn't believe, you know, abnormally shaking. And they videoed him. He put a bit of CBD under his tongue, and within seconds, his shake stopped. And there was another video where this dog, there's something clearly wrong with this dog, where it was shaking violently, and the owner put a little bit of CBD oil in his mouth, and it stopped within seconds. You know, there's so many cases of seeing this.
Yeah. It's worth trying, isn't it?
Absolutely. I do believe it's a miracle plant. It's known as the God plant, and for very good reason.
Yeah, and well, when you think about, we have receptors in our brain, cannabinoid receptors that are there to break down to do the chemical process that's necessary for us to get benefit from the medicine of the plant, like, you know. So why do we have these cannabinoid receptors within our own body if they're not there for a reason? And they're there for a reason, obviously.
Yeah.
It's the same with DMT, dimethyltryptamine. We have also receptors for that within us, or there is dimethyltryptamine in our pineal gland.
There you go. And we're being starved of it and deprived of it. You know, it's illegal in so many places for a reason. You know, anything that's illegal is good for you. Anything that's legal is probably bad.
Well, it's on my list.
Isn't it?
Down to Peru, take the ayahuasca tour, you know, or maybe over to Portugal. You can do it there as well, apparently. So that's on my bucket list anyway.
I've toyed with that idea of doing a DMT experience, but for some reason it kind of scares me.
Oh,
you know, I know you have your shaman there, you know, looking after you, but just, you know, having that kind of spiritual experience, out of body experience, I don't know how I would handle that. So that kind of scares me, and you need to be in a good frame of mind before you do anything like that, because it just amplifies your subconscious. So if you're going into that in a state of fear, I worry for my state of mind being on DMT. You know, that's my only worry. But it's kind of on my bucket list. I think I need to do a bit more research into it though before I dive in.
Definitely, yeah. Have you heard of a guy called Terence McKenna?
I have, yeah.
Have you ever heard of any of his stuff?
No, but he's mainly on DMT, and that's what his talks are on, isn't it?
Things, and yeah, he's dead now, but the guy was incredible. I just love hearing him. He's also very poetic in a sense, you know, his vocabulary and his language, the way that he speaks, it's almost like he invents words, you know, almost Shakespearean. But yeah, you should have a listen to him sometime. You know, he's very interesting. I mean, without digressing from the flat earth subject matter, of course, but if you're interested in DMT and learning about, you know, psilocybin and things like that, because he's researched a lot of that. He was down in South America for many years, you know, doing his is it called, not etymology, plant etymology,
right? Yeah. I mean, I think the key is to take baby steps. I know you can sort of order stuff online and do it in the privacy of your own home, and sort of, you know your limits. And, you know, if you feel comfortable taking a little bit and you want to take a little bit more, you know, just slowly putting your foot in the water and slowly entering yourself into the pool, to use that analogy. But yeah, okay. Terence McKenna, you say?
Yeah, Terence McKenna.
Okay, I'll look at that. Very good.
There's something new to learn every day, isn't there?
And there's always something new to learn every day, especially when you become a flat earther.
Yeah, it's never ending. It leads you to places you never thought you'd go, and it isn't space.
Give me 30 seconds, guys. I'm just going to visit the little boy's room.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Should I carry on? No.
Yeah.
15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21.
I remember a few Spanish words. Pluma's Tio is uncle, Tia is auntie, Pluma is pencil. I think that's all I really remember. Because everybody goes, what, madre and padre? That's mum and dad. I'm not very good on the rest. I know a few of the numbers. They talk too fast anyway.
I
mean, maybe that's what we sound like to them, but
no, but I think actually it's, you know, when we speak English, you can either speak English slow or you can speak English really fast if you want to, because it doesn't matter, you know, people can speak English fast. I knew when I was at school, there was a girl, whenever she would read, it was like, blah, 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 you know, 100 miles an hour. And then you get other people that are very drawn out, you know, and would pronounce every single sentence or every single word almost, you know. But I think with Spanish, because most people are not understanding of the language, it just sounds very fast, like, you know, machine guns talk. But when you do understand it and you hear them speaking, you know, you get used to it. Your ears fall into it, and it's they're just talking normally, really. But yeah, a little bit more faster than what we speak, I would imagine. You know, but
as they say in Spanish, hablan demasiado rápido. They speak too fast.
They do. They speak so fast. I went to try and see if I could catch a few things that Oliver was saying, and once I listened to one of his videos, I thought, "There's no way I'd be able to get anything he has to say." Not even to catch it. They talk so. Do we talk that fast? I don't think we talk that fast.
I don't think Astral does, because he's kind of got like this laid back kind of sort of sound to him, and he's kind of, I don't know. He's
cheers, dude.
So, can you speak really good? Excuse me, really good Spanish, Alex?
No, not really. I had lessons for the first year or two when I first got here. I've got a basic understanding. I can get by. My restaurant Spanish is fantastic. But you know, if I wanted to go into they call them a bricolaje over here, which is like a B&Q. If I wanted to go into a bit like a B&Q equivalent and try and explain that I wanted a tube made of plastic, which is 30 centimeters, and I need it for my toilet or whatever, that I would probably struggle with that. But yeah, I'm getting there. I think, you know, when you're immersed, when you're in Spain and you listen to a bit of Spanish radio, and or if you wanted to, you need to ask for something, you'll learn the word before you go to the shop and ask it. So, you will learn just by being here, just by default. And as I said, I had a year's worth of lessons. So I've got a basic understanding and I can get by. But no, I certainly wouldn't say I'm fluent or
do you do it in an American accent?
No, I'll try with a Spanish accent. I'm quite good at accents. I'm quite good with my voice. So I'm pretty good at rolling my R's,
What's your Spanish accent then? Go on, do that one then.
Estoy aprendiendo español. Tenía lecciones, but that is kind of which is what did I say? I'm learning Spanish. I had lessons. I don't know. When you put on the spot like that, you sort of forget all your Spanish goes out the window.
Do it. Mm.
Yeah. What else could I say? Vivo en España para 4 años. Me gusta mucho en España. Me gustó el tiempo. That was, what did I say there? I lived
4 years.
Yeah, living here for 4 years. I like Spain. I like the weather. Yeah, a few little, obvious phrases are fairly easy, but
Hace frío. That means it's cold, isn't it?
Yeah. Hace frío, or hay mucho frío, or hace calor. Yeah, like you say, it's hot.
Yeah.
Hay viento is there's wind.
¿Cuántos años tiene?
Oh, tengo 46 años.
Oh, thank you. How do you say that now?
Gracias.
Gracias, I forgot. Thinking bloody Danish, Swedish, Spanish, come on.
Yeah, when you put on the spot, it's difficult, huh?
Yeah. I had it in school for 5 years, but I've forgotten so much, man, really. I mean, I never used it after school, and that 79 years ago, so it's bloody ages ago. Never used it. I've been to Spain once, yeah. And I could barely order, some food and something to drink. I just point at things, or omelette.
I remember I went to Paris and I painstakingly was trying to ask for like 5 McDonald's and going and do like that. And I was doing it, and then this woman said, "So you want 5?" She was French, but she said, "So you want 5 burgers and da da da." And I thought, what effort to try and speak it in French and get it right. And yeah, she spoke to me in English.
Well, the most worrying thing about that story is you being in a McDonald's.
Oh, well, this is a few years ago. My kids were small. Well, it was a long time ago, actually. My daughter was a baby, so she's nearly 9. So it's about 18 years ago.
Oh, I'll let you off then. That's okay.
I was just going to say, we British have got like a bad reputation for not learning languages, apparently. They say that we're very...
Do we?
But I think what the problem is, it's not that's the problem. It's because most people would rather speak English, And when I first moved to Sweden, I went to school in Sweden for a few months to learn Swedish, and there were people there from Iran, Iraq, from war-torn Yugoslavia as well. It was just a mishmash of like immigrants and people from more or less what do you call them? Refugees. They all wanted to learn English. So every break time they'd be coming over to me saying, "Hey Martin, how do you say they just wanted to talk English with me." And I had like, I don't know, 6 or 7 or 10 people around me all the time. Talking, we were just talking, but we weren't speaking in Swedish. And whenever the teacher found us speaking English, we got told off, I tell you, But there you can see, they found English a more useful language than the Swedish. Obviously, there's 8 million people living in Sweden. So how many people can speak Swedish? I would say let's double it or triple it, 30 million can speak Swedish in the world. And that, how many can speak English? More or less practically nearly everybody, 90% maybe, who knows?
It's kind of the opposite.
Chosen language, wasn't it? It was only just voted in because there was another language, I can't remember which one it was now, French, I can't remember which one it was, but there was another one that was really close, but the English language won it.
They tried using Esperanto at one point. I don't know if it's still available or if people still, know about Esperanto, but that was kind of like a common European, Mediterranean language, weren't it? Where everything is kind of, all right, it's, I suppose, like pidgin English, Well,
when we get the one world order, it's just going to be one language.
Yeah. That will be English, I'm sure.
Yeah, it will.
Hey, Alex, I don't want to put you on the spot here, but is there just one song you would sing us today?
Oh, my goodness gracious me.
I won't.
No, don't sing that.
Maybe you want a Spanish one.
A Spanish one? I don't know any Spanish ones. Hold on, let me just...
Just one. Do your favourite one, the one that is your favourite.
Well, I've got loads of favourites. That's probably the most difficult question anyone can ask me. What's your favourite song? Because I like music. I like everything pretty much. But I did have a soft spot for Bob Marley back in the day. So let me do one of his. I'm assuming you can hear the guitar there.
We can.
Okay, we'll try this.
Pirates, yes, they rob I, sold I to the merchant ships. Minutes after they took I from the bottomless pit, but my hand was made strong by the hand of the Almighty. We forward in this generation triumphantly. Won't you help me sing these songs of freedom? 'Cause all I ever had, redemption song. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. Have no fear for atomic energy, 'cause none of them are gonna stop at the time. How long shall they kill our prophets while we stand aside and look? Ooh, some say it's just a part of it. We've got to fulfill the book. Won't you help me sing these songs of freedom? 'Cause all I ever had, redemption song. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. energy, 'cause none of them are gonna stop all the time. How long shall they kill our prophets while we stand aside and look? Some say it's just a part of it. We've got to fulfill the book. Won't you help me sing these songs of freedom? 'Cause all I ever have, redemption song, redemption song, redemption song.
Yeah, that was brilliant.
Thank you.
Yeah, the chat room went, whoa.
I've got a hat for you, man. You can have this.
Just leave your money on the side.
Yeah. Brilliant, that. Brilliant.
That was brilliant.
Gave me an idea there. Gave me an idea there in the beginning, Alex.
Yeah.
Oh, NASA, yes, they rob I. $52 million a day.
They feed me nothing but bullshit, and they put it inside my brain.
Yeah.
That's true. I think that was so different to your other songs. I don't think they were expecting that in the chat room. It was amazing.
Awesome. That was brilliant, man, really.
I haven't had a look at the chat room yet. Oh, let me just have a butcher's. Redemption song, sing it, brother. This is entertainment. Wow, that was great. Thank you. Oh, cool. Alex, 2 thumbs up yet again. Wow. Where's me ganja, man? Alex, brilliant. Oh, that's cool. I was watching the chat. Thanks, guys, in the chat. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I couldn't do that. So I couldn't sing over the microphone and play the guitar.
You see, I've had some practice.
Do you dance as well? Dance, play the guitar and sing?
Well, I mean, I only dance when I'm drunk. My missus thinks I'm a good dancer and I've got rhythm and that, but you know, only when I've had a drink. No, not the greatest dancer, I don't think. I think I'll stick to singing and playing the guitar. I like that anyway.
Yeah, so you're obviously doing some more videos at the moment, you said.
Yeah, I've got 3 songs that I've made. All the audio's done for them already. And it's 3 songs that no one's heard yet. So I've got to make 3 videos. So the 3 songs are called, one's called Space is Fake. The other one's called I Always Wanted to Be an Astronaut. Actually, I did play that live on this show, didn't I, a few weeks back? But no one's heard the recorded version of that. And another song is called Don't Let Them Take Your Mind, which is a 9-minute song, which kind of is about my story, really. So 3 songs that no one's heard yet. And I'm working on a video for Space is Fake, which is coming out really well. It's going to be very funny. I'm going to showcase that at the conference. Can't wait for that. And I'm going to release the album as well in line with the conference. So, you know, I hope people buy the album. I mean, I'm ever so proud of it. It's been a year in the making, but it's keeping me busy. You know, once the album's out there and, you know, I've got my name on it, it's going to be something I can look back on and be really, really proud of, you know, that, you know, and me just, you know, what's the word?
Yeah, be proud of yourself, Alex.
Yeah, and just contributing to the movement or to the community and just doing my bit for Flat Earth, you know, is enormously gratifying. You know, it gives you a reason to get up in the morning, you know. So I just absolutely love what I'm doing. And, you know, the album's pretty much done now. Can't wait to release it. And I've just got to work on the videos. They're the hardest part of what I do. It takes so long to, you know, to artistically sort of create it in your mind and then get it on the computer and try and sort of relay the message and make it humorous and comedic. And it takes so long. I'm already about 5 or 6 weeks into this video and I'm not even halfway through it. So it's taken up a lot of time, but it's a labor of love. And I love what I do. And, you know, this year is going to be very exciting musically for me. It's the most exciting thing I've ever done in music, you know, since I've been involved in music.
Is that partly because you actually like doing it as well? You know, this is something you're really into in the first place, Flat Earth. And then
absolutely, yeah. If I'm really into Flat Earth and I'm really into music. So putting those 2 together is obviously pretty natural. And the feedback that I've been getting is fantastic. You know, when you work in pubs and clubs all your whole life and you're playing to drunk people that are not listening or they're watching the football match and just ignoring you, and you do that for years and years and years, it can be quite soul destroying. And then when you just get in the studio and make some video with iMovie and you write a song and you put it out there, and thousands upon thousands of people are just loving it and giving me like a virtual hug and like an internet pat on the back. But that's just amazing for me. It's the recognition that I never had, and it spurs me on to do more and more and more. Now millions of people have viewed my music, and I never thought in a million years that I would reach that many people just from sitting behind a computer screen and doing what I do.
Can I just say, right, you're proud of your work that you've put out and the work that you've done, but I'd just like to say, I think all flat earthers are proud of you for what you've done, because, well, it's part of this progression. You're helping people and you're spreading the word, and then you're spreading the word in a fun way, and that's what's vitally important for us.
Oh, thank you for saying that. Yeah, it's really nice, and
I'm definitely going to buy your album if I don't buy two.
Oh, thanks, man. Thanks. I appreciate that. I mean, we're all doing our part, aren't we? I mean, I just feel blessed to be surrounded by so many people. I mean, I feel a little bit inadequate in ways when I listen to guys like Bob Nodell and Jeren, and how intelligent and articulate those guys are. And I'm going to be surrounded by those guys in November. And I'm going to feel a little bit out of place. But, but I know that Bob happens to be a big fan of what I do. So, so he sort of loves what I do. I love I couldn't do what he does. I don't think he could do what I do. But it's just, just doing what I'm doing and being a part of this community is amazing to me.
But another thing as well, when you're around these kind of people, they can't help but influence you. When you're around a circle of certain people, you get influenced by them, they get influenced by you, and it's when you're around people at a flat earth conference, you're going to get influenced in a big way, in a good way. And even though you might be saying that what they're bringing to the table is like, this is incredible, and it's deep, or it's over your head or whatever, eventually things start to fall into place. When you first read a book that's complicated, it's like, what?
Yeah,
read it again,
exactly.
Read it again, you get more out of it. You read it a third time, it's like,
exactly. This is why I'm a massive fan of the Globebusters show. They attack flat Earth from a technical standpoint, and yes, a lot of it does go over my head. But because I watch it religiously every week and listen to it religiously every week, what they were addressing a few weeks ago that didn't make sense now suddenly makes sense. Exactly. And I'm learning so much just from listening to that show. And my music is created because of the information that I get from these guys. This is information that they've taught me. Guys like Jeren and Bob and David Weiss, and the list goes on and on and on and on. So I'm just putting into musical form what they have taught me. So yeah, absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, it is. When I first saw you, I thought you were an Australian.
Yeah, a lot of people thought that. A lot of Americans think that the English accent is Australian, don't they, for some reason?
Do they?
Yeah, a lot of Americans think that British, it sounds like an Australian accent. I don't know why that is. It's beyond me. But why did you think I was Australian?
The hat and the beard and the face you're pulling in your picture.
I think the hat is an Aussie hat. It's not a cowboy hat. It's certainly not a typical Stetson Texas cowboy hat. I just bought it from the market, and I just happened to have it on hand. And when I wrote my first song, I put it on and put some shades on, and I happened to be in a vest and some shorts at the time because it was recorded in August of last year. It was so hot. And when I put the hat on and the shades, and I just looked like a redneck. And that's when Flat Earth Man was born. And I just sort of, the hat's not an American cowboy hat. It looks a little bit, but it is more of an Australian hat, I guess. All I need to do is hang some corks from it, and the look is complete.
I thought you were going to say g'day, but you didn't. No, you're English. I knew before you came on the Hangout, but when I first saw your picture, I thought, oh, he's Australian.
No.
I think, when you do go to the conference in Denver, you can buy yourself one then. Go to a hat store, and believe me, they've got
You have to go to America, won't you? Get yourself a cowboy.
Oh yeah, proper cowboy hat, proper authentic cowboy shirt as well, with the embroidery in it and all of that. Yeah, great. I might even buy some chaps. Let's get some chaps.
Man, I can't wait. It'll be brilliant. Yeah.
I might do my next video in some spurs and chaps.
Yeah. So how long are you going over to Denver for? A couple of weeks then, or a week?
No, I'm actually going for 8 days. I'm going to fly in on the Monday. The conference is not till the Thursday, so I've got a few days to get over the jet lag and sort of have a look at the venue And, you know, just to have a nose around. I mean, it is a conference hall. It's in a hotel, so it's not going to be a concert hall. So it's not going to be, you know, a stage rigged with lighting and all special effects. You know, more's the pity. You know, that would be nice if we could have some strobe and some flashing lights and make it more of a show rather than me just walking onto stage waving with my acoustic guitar and say, hello, everybody, play a song and then get off. I would like to turn it into a bit of a show. I'd like to have...
How many songs are you doing then?
Sorry?
How many songs are you doing?
Not sure yet. I'm just waiting for Robbie Davidson, the event organizer, to get back from the Canadian conference because he's a bit busy at the moment. And then I'm going to have a chat with him and discuss what's expected of me. I don't want to rip the arse out of it and do, you know, all of my songs. I don't want it to be a Flat Earth Man overkill. But, you know, maybe a couple of songs on the first day and maybe showcase a couple of my videos on the second day. But Robbie might want me to play 4 or 5 songs. I don't know. We'll just have to see. And I'm happy to do that. But like I say, I don't want to just, you know, rip the arse out of it and people get sick of me. So, you know, a couple of songs, maybe 3, maybe 4, who knows? But, you know, whatever they want me to do, I'm happy to do.
And as I said before we came live, you're going to meet Mr. Thrive and Survive, aren't you?
I'm going to meet Mr. Thrive and Survive, going to meet David Weiss, going to meet Bob, going to meet Jaron, who the Paul on the Plane is going. Who else is going? There's so many people going. I probably forgot a load of people, but they're all going to be there. They're all going to be there. I'm going to be surrounded by my heroes. I can't wait.
Sorry, I couldn't get my button undone. I just muted myself. I had to shut my window. Because I'm in a very quiet close, and the noise on the even off this just travels round. They all hear the hangout. Ha ha. So I just closed my window. Yeah, we were supposed to be Spanish night. I have actually had a message from Paul. He says that he's in some family meeting or something. Seems quite late, but so I'm not sure if they're coming on. And Oliver is being very late.
But we've got Alex, so
yeah, we have Alex. So
Alex.
If all else fails, Alex.
Yeah.
Oh no, Alex, we love you.
Stop it. Stop that now. Stop it.
We're going to tell Nasser on you. We're going to tell Nasser on you.
I don't want to talk about Nasser.
All right, forgive me.
Never again.
Yes, that's one of his songs, by the way.
Yes, it is. I don't want to talk about Nasser. Nasser for Nasser.
So you haven't sort of bumped into any more flat earthers in Spain then, and since we've last spoken to you, is it still like you're still keeping much to yourself? And
yeah, I don't do that. I'm a bit of a hermit really at the moment. I don't know, maybe my circle of friends will grow over the years. Maybe I'll integrate a little bit more into Spanish society. You know, I've got a couple of buddies here. One of them, Mike. Hey, if you're listening to this, hey man. Yeah, we talk flat earth an awful lot. I flat smacked him about a year ago, and we've become a lot closer because of it. But now I'm quite happy having a smaller circle of friends. As I said before, I used to have a massive circle of friends. You know, all the people I knew in the pubs and the clubs that I used to play, and it's quite the opposite now. And I think I prefer the life I've got. You know, it might change. I might get a bigger circle of friends the more I integrate. And but no, I'm quite happy when I'm surrounded by my instruments, when I'm in my studio doing my thing. You know.
Sorry guys, I just lost my connection then because of my power.
It's all right, you're on twice now, Astral.
Yeah, I know. It's because the other one's, yeah, the battery just went on that. But I'm only here once, even though it might be here twice.
It's all gone quiet.
Can you hear me?
Oh. I can hear you. Can't hear Astral.
You can't hear me.
I can hear Astral. I can.
Sorry, 1 second. Right, can you hear me better now?
Ah, that's better. I can hear you now.
I've got my headphones in. Sorry about that. Well, Alex has left now, or what? No, it was my other one.
No, that was the other you that's gone.
Yeah, sorry. I was going to say this. This is something that I was listening to today off Ditra and Curious J's podcast, the Flat Earth podcast, where they said, you know, when you've got a personal hotspot on your phone, rename your Wi-Fi. So I've renamed mine. The Earth is Flat. So whenever I'm on a bus or a train, you know, and everybody's got their phones out, everybody. So they'll be all seeing, like, you know, when they're trying to connect to their iPads or whatever it is, you know, What? There's one here called the Earth is Flat. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So everyone should change the name of their phone to the Earth is Flat or something along those lines. You know, research flat Earth.
I did
awesome,
see
man.
one that came up on my Facebook where someone had changed their Wi-Fi network to research flat Earth.
Yeah, brilliant.
And I did talk to David Weiss about this, and I left a speak pipe on their website to say that encouraging people to search the term flat Earth is not a good idea, because if you type flat Earth into YouTube, all you're going to get now is a bunch of videos debunking flat Earth, and YouTube have openly said that they are demoting flat Earth content. If you type flat Earth into Google, you're going to get the first result is going to be the Flat Earth Society, and we all know what a troll fest that place is. Yeah. So I think you know, if Google are changing their algorithms and YouTube are changing their algorithms, we need to change ours. We shouldn't be encouraging people to research flat Earth. We should say research Jeranism, research Globebusters, research Sun and Moon Family United, research Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole, research Flat Earth Podcast. You know, that's the memes that we should be putting out there.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. Yeah, well said.
Thanks.
It's a good, valid point, actually. How about doing searches on DuckDuckGo instead of using Google?
Well, yeah, not a lot of people know about. I use DuckDuckGo. The research results aren't as good as Google, and sometimes I do have to go back to Google to get what I'm looking for. But yeah, that DuckDuckGo doesn't trace you or anything. So it says. I'm of the opinion that everything you do on the internet is always traced. Anything digital is always logged. Every phone call, every search query, every email. You know,
from day one as well.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
But then I suppose we're being this hangout about flat Earth or with flat Earth people with a flat Earth chat room is also being recorded.
Oh, you can guarantee it.
So that's something good, but there we are kept onto Google, aren't we?
Yeah. I'd like to see where it goes.
The song came out and it got into the mainstream, and Alex became #1.
Oh God, can you imagine that? That would be so funny. I mean, that's what I wonder. I often sort of sit and think, well, what happens to the music if this does go mainstream?
Well, I'd have to say it has to go mainstream because we're getting more people every day. And if we're increasing, I mean, people are not leaving flat Earth like they leave, you know, a political party or whatever, you know, or a bingo hall or whatever. This is a massive, enormous. This is the biggest thing ever for everybody, you know. It's the flat Earth. How people can't understand that, I don't know, you know, because... Right, we've been led to believe we're living on a spinning ball, which is utterly preposterous, isn't it, when we think about it now? All right, we were all, you know, globies at one point. And, yeah, I mean, I don't understand why people just think that it's kind of ridiculous. Look into it. Seriously, look into it, because this is a thing, and it's not a thing that's going to go away. It can only increase. It can only be that one day everyone will know the Earth is flat, and we've always been living on a flat Earth. And also, NASA have been lying to us, firing up rockets. Elon Musk and his, you know, SpaceX, fake X, sending up those.
Yeah, not SpaceX, fake X.
Yeah, fake X, yeah. Monstrosities. And just stealing money from people, because that's what they're doing. They're stealing money from us. They're thieving bastards, to put it bluntly.
Everything's about money. Everything.
It's certainly gaining momentum. I mean, to go back to the conference again and seeing, you know, the mainstream media are there. What they then go away and report after they've seen the conference, I don't know, but you can only imagine. But you know, there's conferences happening. There's more people waking up on a daily basis. You know, everybody's channel is growing. It's like a freight train. It can't be stopped. How can that possibly reverse? I can't wait to see where this is in 5 years and in 10 years. And as I said before, what's going to happen to the music? I mean, it's the first flat album. Sorry to go back on myself and the music, but it's the first and only flat Earth album of its kind. So you can imagine if this does go mainstream in 10 years' time, I mean, I might be doing gigs at Las Vegas.
Let's hope.
Seriously, I can't wait to see where it is. I think we're in such an amazing time. Really good time to be alive, and I can only see good things for flat Earth.
The flat Earth man has left the building.
Flat Earth man has left the building. Yeah.
Just some more songs.
Yeah, I mean, I can't even think about that at the moment because I'm so engrossed in finishing this first album. But I can't stop what I'm doing. I've actually just rearranged my whole entire studio to give myself a bigger area for green screening because I'm doing more videos, and I'm going to step up my video editing software as well. Currently, I'm using iMovie. I want to download and pay for Final Cut Pro, which I can do all sorts of amazing things once I learn the software. So I think if I'm to do a second project, a second album, I think you'll start seeing more funnier videos with more comedic content. And so, you know, with the knowledge that you just gain on a daily basis with Flat Earth, you'll never be short of content. So I can't see myself stopping. I think I'll have a break after this album's done and finished, and I'll probably breathe a sigh of relief because it's incredibly hard work. But I'm sure I'm going to get back into it once I've had a break and start on the second album, or create a new character, or maybe even start writing songs about health, or, you know, 9/11 or chemtrails. So, you know, because there's more people that are open to that. And if they listen to that music, they might listen to my older stuff, which will be all the Flat Earth stuff. And that might be another way of getting people into Flat Earth. If you're to write songs about, I don't know, veganism or something, you know, because there's a lot of people out there that are interested in health. And if you give them a song that, you know, a song about a banana and all the benefits of a banana, for instance, you know, they might go, oh, this is really interesting. What's his old stuff like? And they start, you know, and that might be another good way to get people into Flat Earth. But I don't know what a second project will be. If there is one, I'm sure there will be, though.
Sounds interesting. There's definitely scope anyway. I mean, as soon as you can play a musical instrument, well, you're on your way, aren't you? You know? Yeah, definitely. Excuse me,
I'm just grabbing another non-alcoholic beer. Yeah, I mean, once you can, you know, strum a few chords, and that's all it takes, really. And you start to learn to sing a little bit. And if you can strum a few chords, you could probably pick up a bass and add a bit of bass guitar. And once you've got a bit of software on your PC, and you can add the bass guitar and the acoustic guitar together, and you can add a voice, and then you start adding layers. And it's not that hard, you know. You can start if you've got a creative mind, and you start learning something, you know, you start learning about Flat Earth, the lyrics just come, you know. So yeah, for me it's a fairly easy process. But once you pick up that guitar and you learn about Flat Earth, if you're a creative person, you're going to sing about it. And I encourage more people to learn instruments, because music is a fantastic way to get people to a certain subject.
Definitely. My son's just started to learn to play guitar. Well, he's had it for a while now, but I'm so impressed by him, honestly. I mean, he's really coming along well.
How old is he?
16, with structure and everything, like, you know. And he sent me a picture today. He wants me to draw him a logo for his not record label, but yeah, his little music company. So I'm starting a company, Dad. Oh yeah, music. Do me a logo,
awesome.
will you?
Awesome.
So,
I love hearing that.
Yeah. So it's brilliant, like, you know.
Yeah. It's a good age as well, a really good age to start playing start playing guitar. I mean, hopefully he'll stick at it and it'll be a massive part of his life.
Well, yeah, I mean, he plays keyboard as well, like, you know. I gave him a keyboard years ago, and he's well, I don't know how much he's been playing on it and stuff, but he's obviously been playing enough that he can do chords. He can play with his left hand and right hand same time, you know. And I'm like, looking at him thinking, bloody hell, man, you're impressive, you know. And I've not taught him anything about keyboard. I just taught him a few chords on guitar, like, you know, and he's on his way.
He's going to get more girls if he plays the guitar. That's what I found.
Oh yeah, and he's after that. I tell you, he's a proper little yeah.
I started playing the piano when I was about 4 years old, and my dad was in a band, and he was the organist, and there was always a piano or an organ in the house. And you know, I had I really liked my uncle who was the guitarist, and I always used to look at his guitar, fascinated with that thing, you know. And I was, it just seemed like a sexier instrument. I didn't pick up the guitar till I was 21, and as soon as I started playing it, I thought, oh, this is for me. Sod the piano, sod the keyboard, the guitar's for me, man.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Oh, we lost Patricia, but she's back.
Oh, we lost her again.
Oh
dear.
I think someone's going to join because they want to say hello to you, Alex.
Oh, okay.
Want to join?
Who would that be then?
Surprise.
Yeah.
Hello, Patricia.
I'll tell you, it's don't know if you've heard of him, Joey Rocha.
Yeah, I know. He's a Facebook friend of mine. I recently had a little chat with him yesterday, I think it was. Yeah.
How's he coming on now?
Yeah, he's coming on to say hello.
Goody, goody.
Come on, Joey, man. Pull your finger out of your ass.
I just see the chat room. Walter Williams says, Iron Lady Karen is a great warrior. Oh, bless you. Don't know if I'm a warrior, but yeah, very sweet of you. Anyway, hello to chat room. There's comment in there. William, Walter, Loopy, Leah. And that's what I can see right now.
I'd just like to say hello to William in the chat. Hey, buddy.
There's Salted Cedar, Psychics, Lady
Can I read some out, Karen?
Mark
got
P.
Midi HC, Dawn is in there. Hello, Dawn. Loopy Ruan, Sidi El Kachi, Lee Templar, Lady Leg 75, Psychics Warrior, if you didn't say that. C Oddity. Who else we got? We got, Costa was in here earlier. Hello, Costa. Yeah, there are quite a few people in there. Star Connections, Miriam Van Rijn. That was a long name. Yeah, hello to everyone in the chat room. It's great to have you all here.
Yeah, Dawn's there. And then Midic, if that's how you say it. He's there. Barris. Yeah,
Nimble.
thank you so much, chat room.
Nimble Horse.
Yeah. And then C ODT. Yeah, there she is, Nimble Horse. There's Costa.
Hi, Costa.
The Costa's coming on I think
Thursday.
on Tuesday.
Was it Thursday?
It's Friday today, Astral.
I know, but I thought it said when is Costa coming on? I thought it said, no, I was thinking it was going to come on next Thursday.
Yeah, where's he coming then? Come on then, Joey. He'll be on in a sec.
Right, while we're waiting for Joey, I'm just going to take a little trip because this zero alcohol beer is going right through me. Another 30 seconds, please.
Okay, uno, dos. Don't believe in gravity.
Don't believe in fantasy.
Hey, Joey, man. How's it going, brother?
There's Joey.
Are you muted? Joey. Oi, oi, oi. Joey. Oi, oi, oi. Denmark calling Hawaii. Calling Hawaii. He's left the call.
Oh, he'll be back.
Did Arnold Schwarzenegger not once say that?
Say what?
He'll be back.
Yeah, I'll be back.
Get to the chopper.
Yeah, maybe it's a bit of a internet problem. There's a lot of internet problems going on, which is a bit crazy considering we're 2018, isn't it? Or what do you think we are anyway?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm back.
Well, Joey joined us, then he didn't say anything, and then he dropped off. So let's see if I can add him on this way. Maybe it's better. Sometimes people have, there's a lot of internet problems. See if I can add him this way. I haven't got his email on me. So, not so good on the older non-alcoholic beer then.
That's all right. You get used to it. This is a life of sobriety for me. You see, now I'm a new man. I'm teetotal.
Your ringtones. Are there any of those flat Earth ones or?
I've got one in there that's a flat Earth one. I've released my song Flat Earth Man, the very first one I did, which is also known as NASA's Faking Everything. NASA's faking everything that you have ever seen. That one I've released as a ringtone. So if you go into iTunes and you type in Flat Earth Man or Conspiracy Music Guru, you'll see it there. You'll see my songs, and underneath it has a little ringtone section, so you can have the chorus of that song. And when the album's out, I'll be doing ringtones of every song. So there'll be another 9 ringtones after that. So yeah, that might be another good way to get the message out. That'd be nice if you've got you know, just the chorus playing of "Do you still believe we went to the moon?" Hello. Hello?
Yeah. What's your favourite ringtone then that you've made, apart from not being, obviously it's not going to be a flat Earth one, but what's your favourite ringtone you've done?
What is it with you and favourites, Karen?
Well, I'm just asking him a question. I was just asking him.
Yeah, what you said before, it's dead hard.
Some of my favourite ones are probably not suitable for air, because they're quite. I did a bunch of explicit ones because for some reason they sell really well. You know, just some rather naughty ones with a bit of swearing in, which is, you know, I kind of regret doing them in a way, but they really sell well. So, and they make, because I come from a pub background, you know, being in pubs, and I know what people like. I know what words people find funny. So I did a bunch of explicit ringtones, you know, swearing and, you know, pick up the effing phone and that kind of thing. And they sell really, really well. So my favorite ones are the explicit ones that I've done. But I don't want to point people to that sort of content, you know, but they sell well. What can I say?
Do you find that anybody around you is not into this? Well, your wife must be, or you just don't talk about it with anybody else, really? Just keep it with yourself and your wife?
You mean flat Earth in general? Hello? You've muted again, have you? Yeah, flat Earth in general. Yeah, wife's a flat earther. She doesn't, walk around with a T-shirt saying I'm a flat earther. She's not ready to, you know, have those sort of conversations. But we talk about it a lot. You know, when I was watching the conference today live, and she's sitting there watching it. Also, we're taking in the same information. And as I said, I've got a good buddy here, Mike, who I talk, you know, for hours and hours about it with. But beyond that, no, not really. I've tried to, you know, drop hints and sow seeds to other people, but it only gets me in trouble. You know, the kind of, the cognitive dissonance. You know, I've said this before, you know, if cognitive dissonance was an Olympic sport, some of the people I've spoken to could be gold medalists. You know, they're offended by it. You know, they just look at you like you're absolute. And I just, you know, received such a backlash so many times that I just keep my mouth shut now. And that was the inspiration for the song I Don't Want to Talk About NASA. Because every time I talk about NASA, I'll lose another one of my friends. And it was like that. And that's why I wrote that song, because like, as soon as you open your mouth, people just don't want to hear it. They don't want to change their way of thinking. They're not capable. And I was listening to Martin Kenny on your show the other day, and that guy, I love him. And he's got it right. He says, you know, some people are just not ready. It's just not their time. No matter how much information you give them, you know, you could tell them to watch a video, and you just can't understand after they've watched it why they haven't got it, why it hasn't sunk in, why they just go, oh, it doesn't bother me, it doesn't matter. You know, some people will just never get it.
Yeah, I think, can I just say something there, right? Years ago, I had this job knocking on doors. It was like a part-time job in the evenings after work, but I was knocking on doors selling burglar alarms, right? And basically, I had to get an appointment with the person. Now, we were taught like how to give a pitch and what to say and how to say it and, you know, and all this kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, I was doing pretty good for myself. And the reason why I was doing good for myself was because I was knocking on more doors than anybody else. And I could find out within 30 seconds if they were going to say yes or no. And then I moved on. And I think when it comes to flat Earth, we have to use our discernment in a similar way, you know, where if we're going to like flat pill someone, flat smack somebody, or if we're going to do it a little bit gentler, you know, like what do you think about conspiracies? Do you know anything about conspiracies? And you might be saying like, well, yeah, I'm not sure about the moon landing, or I'm not sure about 911, or, you know, whatever. And by that, just that first sentence that they say, the first things that come out of your mouth, usually you can tell how they're going to be, you know, and then you can take it from there, like if you should continue or if you should go and knock on another door, as I would say, you know. So it's down to that, really.
Yeah, totally agree. Gauging your
Can
audience.
Can I just say that Joey's managed to join us now? Just saw him sitting there. Joey?
Can we hear him?
Oh, he was just there a moment ago.
He's still here. He's just muted. Mute Joey.
Joey! Oh, dearie me. Joey. I saw him sitting there just a moment ago.
Yeah, he might be rolling a joint. Who knows?
Oh, he'd say hello.
There's a lot of similar
Just
comments in the chat.
He just says that's him messaging me saying he's got a bit of internet problems.
Yeah, just going to read out a few comments here. Look, Leah Templar says, showing the SpaceX rockets landing vertically, I think, was the turning point for my dad, who has a good grasp of what is possible. Another guy says, I had a fight the other day with my dad. He doesn't dare to look for differences. Some people say, what difference does it make? My boss is getting ready to fire me, but it's still level. And he still believes they went to the moon, blah, blah, blah. See, a lot of people are having this, having this backlash from trying to wake people up and sowing seeds. So, it's a shame that people can't be more open-minded.
Yeah, I don't know. If you were 20 years younger, what difference to you? Or, I mean, I do think that people that have got small babies and children, their emphasis is on them and running around them. I mean, I still would have been interested, but I wondered, it's because my children have left home. So, hey, there's Joey.
Hey, Joey. Hey, Joey, how you doing, man? Hey, where's Joey? I can see him, but we can't hear him.
Yeah. He's live all the time, so he's obviously just got a bit of a problem there. Hopefully he'll come in a minute, because internet's a bit like that sometimes. But I just wondered, if this had been 20 years ago, would you have been so interested?
That's a good
Would it have
point.
got you the same way, or was it just like because you got older? I don't know.
I think.
Hey, everybody, how's it going? I think I'm good now.
Yay!
Ooh.
Sorry about that. Internet problem. Actually, it was a camera problem.
Hey, hello, Joey. Joey, do you want to say hello then? Because that's why you've joined.
I want to say hello to all the Flat Earth Sun and Moon family and everybody watching and listening. I'm not only a member of this, but I'm probably the biggest fan of everybody. But hey, I agree with you guys so much what you're saying about the approach on how to. Who was talking about knocking on doors, doing door-to-door sales? Whoever was saying that, I totally agree. Like that method of planting seeds, I think that's so beautiful.
Yeah. Also, I thought you wanted to come on and say hello to Alex.
To who?
Conspiracy music guru.
Hey, what's up, Conspiracy Music Guru?
Hey, Joey, how's it going, man? Nice to meet your acquaintance.
Yeah, I met you. Actually, I talked to you before on a show.
You did?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did.
I did.
But I know there's a lot of us. And anyways, I'm a huge fan of yours. And I always watch your videos. I think you're brilliant, brother. I love your approach. I never knew you had an accent. I thought you were like a hillbilly kind of guy.
You're not the first person to say it. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, you're not the first person to say that. A lot of people have been quite shocked at my real voice. But I don't know. I just sat in the studio one day and this American voice came out, and then I started recording the song. And I don't know how that happened or why. It just sounded better when I put on an American accent, and it just sort of stuck, really.
Well, I'm glad I handed it to you, mate. You did a great job.
Thanks. Yeah,
He's just done Bob Marley and Redemption Day. That was really good as well. The chat room went, wow.
Redemption song. Can I just ask you a question, Joey?
Yeah,
Didn't you just have an earthquake in Hawaii the other day?
Yeah, I know. It's pretty intense. And we have Hurricane Hector that just passed us by last night within about 80 to 100 miles of our island. The big island of Hawaii is still having active lava flow from different fissures. So there's a lot of activity going on over here. Last night, I couldn't see even a foot in front of me. I was going to record it, but what could anybody see? It wasn't rain either. It was just the clouds, I guess, from the hurricane or whatever it was. You couldn't even see in front of you. It was super misty. So there's a lot of stuff going on. But the earthquake, I didn't actually feel it. Maybe I was sleeping. That's why.
Yeah, I meant to ask you about that because I saw that it was quite close.
Well, seismic activity and earthquakes go hand in hand because we live on the surface of this flat plane of Earth. Underneath us are these lava tubes flowing with lava, and in between that surface, as they pass by, it causes the ground to cave in. So we're getting a lot of earthquakes here in on the Big Island and Maui and surrounding islands, because there's a lot of activity going on underneath us. For some reason, just like, you know, I think it's like, it's crazy what's going on in the world right now. All the fires all over California says it's so bad that people in Washington are being smoked out from all the flames and the floods going on, all that crazy stuff.
We got a bunch of fires in Spain at the moment near Valencia. It's been raging for days and days and days. Thousands of people been evacuated. A couple of years ago, we had it very close to my area as well. It came so close that the house behind me, which is about 10 meters away, was actually on fire. And we had a helicopter go over and release a big bucket of water on it and doused it instantly. Thank God, because we thought, you know, we was getting ready to evacuate. We grabbed the dogs and we put them in the car. We were that close to fleeing. So yeah, it's happening all over the place.
What is it though? You know what I mean? What is it? We don't know. Something bad, but look, they're putting up all these 5G towers everywhere. Over here now we have this sugarcane factory that's been up for like, it's like the legacy of our island, been up since like the early 1900s, right? And they said that they were going to take it down and build some kind of cannabis facility, kind of where they're growing stuff, and everyone is excited about it. But I just took pictures and posted on Facebook yesterday. They turned those big old chimneys that used to be up there into 5G towers.
You know,
what are they doing? Who knows?
I've been seeing some photos online as well of these fires and the way that they're spreading and the scorch marks they're making, these burn marks. They're not looking like they're just wildfires. These look
direct
like
energy weapons, yeah.
Hey, check this out, you guys.
DEW.
Check this out. I don't know the name of the person, but you know how when we see these pictures online of the same thing you guys are talking about with the trees that just have a fire just in one area and stuff like that? It's like, oh, it's so obvious. It's like some kind of directed weapon energy or something. But I don't know if you guys saw the flat earther that drove around that area with their camera. And I know we believe this stuff anyways, but when you see it on video, it makes it way more believable. They were driving around with their camera, Facebook Live, and they were showing the actual trees with just a little tiny hole, telephone poles with just a little fire in it and like a house. And so what's going on in these pictures is legitimately going on in real life. So directed energy weapons, whatever it is, fire doesn't behave that way. And they say it's only 5% contained. That means it's not contained whatsoever. You know, what the heck? It's been burning for how long? Spreading how far? Jumping neighborhoods? It's crazy.
Yeah, I think we need to keep our eye on it, you know, seriously. Not just in America or wherever you are. I mean, but yeah, obviously it's been happening in Spain. It's been happening in Greece. I mean, there's...
All the people of all the world need to unite under this banner of truth that we know, and let's just kick out all the powers that shouldn't be. They know the gig's up. That's what they're doing, all this stuff.
Yeah, one last push, maybe. Maybe that's what I was trying.
Yeah, one last act of desperation. I don't know, but it's very, very curious. And I've also seen those photographs of the direct energy weapons, and it's, you know, it's clear that it's not a fire when a bunch of cars and a bunch of houses burn, but the forestry around it doesn't. Yeah,
I have to agree with you. The metal-y things are all burning, and yet the trees, the natural things, are not.
Yeah.
How can you have a fire in the middle? It's just ridiculous.
And
it's impossible. So whatever they're doing, that's impossible. It's an impossibility. It has to be either, you know, a combination of people being there, burning it, because you know what the thing is. There's all kinds of firefighters, and mostly it's corrections prisoners that go over there and they help to put out these fires. But the fires are really, really happening, right? But who's doing it? When they evacuate these areas, they most likely probably not only have some type of directed weapon energies, but they probably have people on the ground, you know, since it's evacuated anyways, just causing these fires. You know, they can do anything they want with these evacuations, because who's going to stick around?
Question everything. That's what I've always said. Question everything until you can, you know, totally verify it 100%. And check this out. How about cars that are like half burnt or half, you know, lasered across, glass melted away, engine blocks just melted like water or hot butter, you know? How does that happen?
Anybody who thinks that's ridiculous, who hasn't really studied directed weapons possibilities and technology, just think about this. You can take, I forget what it's called, but like a type of magnifying glass circular thing, and you can use it to light your own cigarette in the sun in about 1.5 seconds. You just shine the light on your cigarette. You guys know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
So imagine the technology that they have. Of course they can use directed energy weapons, and it looks like that. I've seen pictures that show stuff that looks like it, but pictures can be doctored. I understand that.
I put a post up in the week with the wheels had melted. The metal of the wheel had melted. Ooh, it looked like melted chocolate. So yeah, how can that be a fire when nothing around was burnt? Only the metal car with the plastic and metals, and only that had caught fire.
You know, that's what I mean. People need to be informed. People need to be aware of what's going on, to see it for themselves, and not to believe everything that they see on the TV. Like, oh, these wildfires caused by the sun, dry grass, and kiss my ass, man. Seriously, kiss my ass.
Amen.
I know that something is not right. You know, it's we know that they've got these what they call defense early warnings or whatever. Is that what they're called? Direct energy weapons, sorry. That's another dupe. But they have these lasers or whatever it is that they're using, you know, and you can, I mean, we just look at even 9/11. Look at the burnt out cars there, what was going on there as well. You know?
Dustification, of the whole buildings as well.
Seriously, yeah. People need to be questioning.
Yeah. Isn't this whole all these fires? I mean, I don't know too much about it, but isn't it a part of the the Agenda 21, the relocation program?
Relocation, depopulation, yeah. Call it what you will, but yeah, seriously, they're doing something, aren't they, to uproot people, split families, you know, just make a kind of a chaos, because out of order comes chaos, as the old saying goes, we all know. Is it written on the dollar bill?
Yeah, the final days, isn't it, biblically?
I agree with that. I agree that Revelations is around the corner. I think that we're already in Revelations, but the way I interpret it, it's a process, right? But yeah, all the signs for sure. Look at knowledge is abundant. Are you kidding me? Knowledge is so abundant right now. I mean, it's so abundant that every single flat earther that I know, not only are they a flat earther, but they know like every conspiracy. You know what I mean? They know about crisis actors and everything, right? So all the signs and revelations have been qualified, and look at all these fires, whether they're intentional or not, which we know they're intentional. They're the most devastating ever. And they say that there's been other fires that have been really devastating way back in history, but no way. That's a lie. You know, look at this. This is something that's unheard of ever in the history of real time. You know, and so what's going on now is going on crazy all over the world, and it's getting worse. Like, look, this fire's been going on for how long now in California? It's impossible. Who knows? I say it's Revelations, but not in a scary way. I say it's Revelations because if it's not, who cares? Live like it's Revelations. Try to fight.
It's definitely a mass awakening, isn't it? I mean, that cannot be denied. I mean, listening to Martin Kenny the other day talking about times being cyclical and us going in from the Bronze Age into the Silver Age or whatever it is, the Age of Aquarius or whatever it is. But you can certainly see a mass awakening, which again goes back to my original point. Where are we going to be in 5 years, in 10 years with flat Earth? I can't wait to see where it's going to be.
5 months, brother. Check it out, brother. Conspiracy. Look at this. The Google searches for 2017, like in September 2017. You'll see there's like 50, maybe 80 million. That's a lot, right? But then jump ahead to early, like January, February of 2018. There's like 400 million, and then now jump to like just a few months later. Now there's about 500 to 700 million. Imagine even just by the end of the year with all these new celebrities coming out, and I think it's going to be sometime soon that this 100th monkey effect's going to take place, like this year.
Yeah, we're on a freight train now, and it's totally running out of control, you know, and it's going downhill as well, you know. But what you were saying before as well about flat earthers being aware, Joey, I totally agree with you, man, and we are on point with a lot of things. You can go up to anybody and ask them, can you name me 1 or 2 scientists that are like, you know, world known or whatever? And I bet they can't. And you can ask them, do you know of any astronauts by name? And I'm not talking Neil Armstrong or Buzz Aldrin, you know, like recent modern day astronauts or whatever. And I bet you they can't unless they're fanboys, like, you know. But yeah, we are aware to many things, like you say, anything's conspiracy. And I don't like using the word conspiracy. I like to say shit that they're hiding from us, you know.
Well, that is a conspiracy, isn't it? I mean, that word conspiracy has been used as a weapon. Conspiracy theory, wasn't it? It was coined by the CIA, I believe,
Yeah.
to label anybody questioning the mainstream narrative. But when you look at the actual meaning of the word conspiracy, it simply means, you know, when two or more people get together to progress an agenda that is illegal or immoral or both. And where do we see that? We see that all the time. So everything is a conspiracy once you look at it, you know. So, you know, I was a bit, you know, when I calling my channel Conspiracy Music Guru, I thought, is that the right name? But I just, you know, called it that. Just so I thought, oh, that's okay. But I'm glad that I called it Conspiracy Music Guru now, because everything is a conspiracy. There are two or more people getting together to progress an agenda that is illegal or immoral. It's there in everything we see.
Mm. Well said.
And the reason why I think too that this mass awakening is going to happen probably this year, maybe the beginning of next, but I think this year, is because in my mind, the way I rationalize it is, look how many flat earthers there are. It's growing and growing. We never go away. But also look how many forget flat earth, or completely put it out of the picture, right? Look how many other people are coming into the conspiracy theory category, where the 9/11 people, a lot of people are being woken up to 9/11 for the first time. Vaccines, nutrition, big pharma, FDR, all truths lead to more truths. So these people are really, really on the cusp. Everybody who's being awoken. So we're about to hit that apex, I believe. I don't see how it cannot, because a truther won't shut up, right?
No, that's true, and it's also at the forefront of on the news now. You know, the media with all this like fake news, and you know, trying to classify flat Earth as fake news. Fake news, come on, get real, man. I mean, this is real news.
Hey,
you
can
know,
I just say that Oliver joined us? Oliver.
Hola,
Hello.
hola.
Hola.
hola, hola.
Hola, Oliver.
Hola, ¿cómo estáis?
Bien, gracias.
Bien,
Bien.
muy bien.
Bienvenido.
Oh, I thought you weren't going to make it.
Yeah,
Oliver.
finally, I could make it, finally. I'm here. I was
So-
just listening to see what you were talking about.
Brother Oliver, what is your nationality?
I'm Spanish, but my mom's English.
Spanish
So
and English. Okay.
Yeah, I'm double.
He's
I've got
Spanglish.
double passport.
Joey.
So you're half white and half Hispanic, then basically.
Yeah.
Same as me, brother.
Joey,
Oh, that's
on
great, man.
YouTube, Oliver has about 122,000 followers, don't you?
I think it's more than that. 200,000. I looked today.
Yeah, I think it's
More.
over 200,000. Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Brother. Congratulations, my man. Good
Thanks,
job.
man.
Way to reach a lot of people, man. Much kudos.
Yeah.
Hey, I have a
Definitely,
question for you.
yeah.
I have a question for you, Oliver. I never met you before, but I love you already because I love every flat earther. I'm so proud of you. But let me ask you this, because I was talking to some of my friends about this earlier. If you look at polls that I believe to be true, it seems like there's more whatever we call Hispanic or of Spanish type of origin flat earthers than there are any other what we call ethnicity. And I wonder why it's hit the Hispanic, whatever you want to call it, culture so much more, even though there's all kinds of diversity. I mean, there's a complete diversity within the movement everywhere, right? But it seems like more Hispanic people are flat earthers than any other culture from polls I've seen. And I was wondering, what do you think that's due to? You think it's like are they deeper with their roots, so it's easier to convince them, or what do you think?
Well, it might be because we're talking about not only Spain, but also South America, which is, there's lots of countries there. So it's like Argentina, Colombia, Chile, Mexico, like there's millions of people there. So, and in the United States as well. But also, I think maybe it's because they tend to be more religious, more like Christian, and it's easier for Christians or for people that, read scripture to believe in flat Earth, because they already have that background where they read Genesis, where it talks about basically a flat Earth model. So I think maybe it could have something to do with that.
Yeah, I agree. I think that, but for some reason too, whenever I talk to people, whatever they are Hispanic, the flat earth, because as soon as you say it's in the Bible and they doubt you, and then you show them a verse, unlike most people, they go, oh, wow. You know, so yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's easier because they're more deeply rooted in the religion. I'm not really sure why, but.
Yeah, either way, it's awesome, man. And, you know, lately that I see it in my channel, because when I started in 2016, I got so much hate, you know, like people are like against me. But now I can tell the difference. There's like the growth, you know, the growth has been exponential. Like there's so many people now into flat Earth.
I can't keep up. That's like what I everyone prides themselves, I think, as something in flat Earth. I pride myself as kind of like trying to know who's doing flat Earth channels and go on their channels and watch them and promote them and stuff. There's too many.
That's a good point, man. I remember, you know, 2016, I was probably subscribed to all the flat Earth channels. You know, there were probably I don't know, 100 maybe, or not even that. But now it's just impossible. Just too many channels.
Tried to. Sometimes I try to, and I get like arthritis, seriously, no joke. And I have to stretch my hand. But I try to. That's like, I used to do that all the time, 2015, 16, 17, I used to do that. 2018, it's impossible. And so many other people are doing it. It's crazy. There's no way to even keep up with how many new people are coming out with stuff. Like, I just went on this show the other day, 2 or 3 days ago, with this guy named Brian Starvey. And he runs his own show, and I didn't even know that he was doing his show. And
Hello?
Did we lose him?
What happened then? Yeah.
Oh, we just lost him. Anyway, yeah, bit more Spanishy now.
Yeah. And what about Conspiracy Music Guru? Are you Spanish, man?
You can call me Alex, dude. No, I'm not Spanish, but I've been living in Spain for about 4 years now, and I absolutely love it. Whereabouts are you in Spain?
In Barcelona.
Oh, okay. You're about 4 hours up the road. I'm about an hour south of Valencia, where they are currently experiencing a lot of fires, I believe.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that, man.
Yeah,
you could have come to we did a Flat Earth, like not conference, but kind of a meetup / conference in May. And we were in Valencia.
Oh man, why didn't I know about it? I think did Iru Landucci went to that, didn't he?
Yeah, I was with him there talking, you know.
Yeah, I think I heard about it like the day it was on or a day after or something. I thought, oh man.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't announce it really, to be honest, in our channels or anything. It was quite underground. It was only announced on Facebook by the guy that organized it. So, you know, it's actually normal that you didn't hear about it.
Yeah, what a shame. I would have been there for sure. Like I say, it's only an hour up the road from me, so I would have loved to have been there. I mean, my Spanish is not great at all, and I would imagine there would be a big Spanish community there. But for sure, I would have been there anyway. But if there are any more,
please, for sure.
Please let me know.
Most likely, you know, there'll be more for sure.
Oh, hit me up, man. Let me know because I would love to. I would love to go to one in Spain.
Yeah. What do you have Facebook or something?
Yeah, you can find me on Facebook. My name on Facebook is Alex Michael, and you'll see I've got the same avatar that I've got here on the chat with the cowboy hat and the glasses. I've got a bunch of...
I see 96 friends in common. That must be you.
That's me. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, hit me up on there if there's any more meetups. You know, if it's a couple of hours away, even 3 or 4 hours away, I'd be happy to come up there for the night or for the weekend or whatever. I'd love to do that.
Yeah, it would be great.
Hey, Oliver, have you heard of Alex Conspiracy Music Guru before?
Yeah, I'm subscribed to his channel.
Oh,
so
sweet.
You know his songs then?
Yeah.
Ah, sweet. That's cool, man. Yeah, I took a quick look at your channel today. Is it all in Spanish?
It's all in Spanish, yeah.
Oh, damn it. I wish my Spanish was better. As I said before you came on, I had about a year's worth of lessons, but I've got a very, very small grasp on it, but I've got a lot to learn. I certainly couldn't listen to a
video, right?
Yeah, I don't think that a few words would probably sink in, but, I'm working on it.
That's cool, man. Yeah, maybe I start doing English videos. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, you could. I mean, you could reach a much wider audience, but I think if you've already got 220 odd thousand subs, you know, don't
Oh
change
no, I
that.
would definitely do you know, start a new channel in English.
Yeah, that might be a good idea. Yeah, but you seem to be going great guns, man. Congratulations, nice one.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, I went and looked at Oliver's channel and I thought maybe I could just, you know, maybe I'd pick up a little bit. But you spoke so fast, I thought, oh, wow, I never get to do this.
Yeah, it's
Do
quite.
you talk that fast, Oliver, or is it actually the Spanish are talking faster?
No, I mean you have to. The videos are edited, so actually when I speak, it's more normal like now. But I just edit it so it's more compressed, you know. So it sounds like I'm talking very, very fast.
So is your channel, is it everything about flat Earth?
Mostly flat Earth, since it wasn't before. But when I discovered the subject in 2016, I've done almost everything about flat Earth. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, there's obviously a massive community here in Spain. I haven't tapped into it yet because I'm not, you know, a massive social butterfly. I'm a bit more of a recluse these days, but I would love to get out there and meet a few more like-minded folk in this country. Definitely.
Yeah. Wasn't what's his name? Karen, the other Spanish guy that was gonna.
Paul White.
Paul White.
Well, he was hopefully going to be joining us, but I don't know. He had a family meeting, but he's having a baby now, so his life's changed a little bit. He's getting ready for the baby.
I actually met him. I met him and his wife or girlfriend in this Valencia meeting in May. Yeah.
It's always nice meeting in person.
Another day you'll be on a hangout.
Yeah.
Well, as I was saying to you, you know, actually, I just saw that yesterday you had Mike Helmick.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been looking at his videos recently about, you know, the square Earth, because I've seen he's a proponent of that model. Yeah. And I find it quite interesting. You know, I told you on Facebook that I'm looking into kind of this model, and you know, there's things that make sense.
Yeah, Mr. Thrive and Survive's more a square flat Earth map. Not
he's on Two Square again, also.
And excuse me, group or channel or chat room. So was Sun and Moon, a square flat Earth group to start with. All our research was a square map, but then, you know, things happened and then we decided to go with the people instead, because, you know, we can go on about what shape we are, but we just don't quite know, do we? So it was, you know, no one can say yes, we definitely are at the moment, so we thought we'd go on with the people.
I think, can I just say something? I think it's fine that people do different you know, studies on different scenarios with maps and what have you, you know. But we mustn't detract or distract ourselves from the fact that it's flat. You know, we know that it's flat. The shape of the actual, shape of the Earth, or how far it goes on for, we don't know. Whenever we find that out, and I'm sure that one day we will find out, or someone's going to find out. It's only a matter of time, isn't it?
Also, Sun and Moon, we have to remain a little bit, what's the word? Non-everything, because
unbiased.
Yeah, non-biased, because we're a platform for everybody to come on.
I think the main key is to try and get the information out that the globe is a lie, and then we can start arguing about shapes and sizes after that.
Yeah. So what's made you get into that one then, Oliver?
I mean, I'm not gonna say, as you said. Now we can't really know because nobody's seen the flat Earth from above. Nobody actually knows what shape it has. It's just suppositions, you know, whether you adopt the Gleason or the square, it's just suppositions. But I've seen, you know, I've defended the Gleason since I started Flat Earth. You know, my book was about it. All my videos included the Gleason. And I just seen some inconsistencies with the model, you know, with the circling sun, particularly because if you look at scripture or the Book of Enoch or some observations, you actually see that the sun rises from the east and sets in the west. And actually north, south, east, west, it's like the compass. It's not like the north is in the middle and the south is a surrounding circumference. The scriptures don't talk about that. The scriptures clearly refer to the south is one point, and north is another, and east, west is like the compass. So that made me question, the official flat Earth model, if you will.
You mentioned scripture there. What about phrases like God looking down on the circle of the earth? What about things like that?
Yeah, that's another interesting point. I found out that in reality, when I think it's Isaiah 40:11 or something like that, or 40:22, that he says the circle of the earth. And when you look at the verse, it's not actually saying earth is a circle. It's referring to a circle on earth. It's like a place on earth, actually in the sky. And it says that God has his throne above this circle. So it's not actually saying earth is a circle. It's referring to a circle on the earth. So this is something I found really interesting.
Yeah,
because it also talks.
Complicates it a bit, though, isn't it, Oliver? Is that we have a 360-degree line of sight, so that is a circle of sight that we have. That doesn't mean the land actually is a circle or shape like that. It's just we have a sight of line. I can't say it now. A line of sight like that. So that doesn't happen.
And what the verses that talk about the angles and the corners of the earth are quite interesting. And the fact that we measure everything in square meters, like if you think about a circle, Earth, there would be a point where you could not measure these square meters, right? They would collapse at the outer circumference because it's not a square. So this made sense in a square Earth, but.
Can you just say that again? What did you say there about the shape of it? I didn't quite get that.
The square meters?
Yeah.
Yeah, that we measure the surfaces in square meters or square kilometers.
Yeah.
It's not circle kilometers, it's square meters, square kilometers. So if you
but it has to be
imagine the circle all filled up.
Because it's linear, isn't it?
Yeah. Like imagine the circle all filled up with squares. There would be a point in the outer circle where the square meters don't make sense. I don't know. It's a bit confusing at first, but if you see it visually.
Can I say something else as well? Also, when you look at any of Google Maps or which somebody got the data for, nothing's bent. None of the photographs are bent. Every photograph is next to every photograph next to, and what are they? They're kind of rectangles, photograph size.
Right.
Nothing's bent. Nothing's bent. Nothing's bowing. The only reason it does it is when Google Maps turn us into a ball. But we don't have any proof exactly. I mean, we could be
because Google Maps has been in the square.
Maybe we're all of it, all in one.
Yeah,
somehow.
Google Maps has been using the Mercator projection until 1 week ago when they changed it to the globe now. Now when you zoom out, Google Maps is a globe. But up until now, they've been using the Mercator. And, for traveling and stuff, they use the UTM, square or rectangular projection. But, again, we just don't know. And it detracts from the important thing that it's just a flat motionless plane. That's the main thing. Yeah, and the map, the shape and the actual distributions of the countries and continents, that's secondary. It's not really important, it's just something interesting to research. But that's why right now I don't defend any particular map or model. Before I was like a diehard Gleason circling sun defender, but now it's like, well, we don't really know. There's inconsistencies. and it's actually a
Also,
trap.
Oliver,
You know what I realized, that it's a trap to say the flat Earth model, and people, you're kind of stuck with this Gleason circling sun model, when in reality we shouldn't do that, because it's like a trap, because there's inconsistencies, and if people point them out, smart people say, hey, the distances of the southern flights don't measure, the time of the southern flights, they don't really seem to work on the Gleason model. The southern rotations of the stars as compared to the north, the sun doesn't shrink in some places. So you can point all these inconsistencies, and you're stuck defending the Gleason model, when in reality we should get rid of any model, in the sense that the important thing is knowing that the globe is a lie, and that the Earth is a flat, motionless realm. That's what we should defend. But I've seen the trap in being, related to a model. Because when you say, I defend the flat Earth, now everybody thinks of the Gleason model. What if it's wrong? Then people will say, well, the Earth isn't flat because the model is wrong. When in reality, it doesn't have anything to do,
We need to make our own model. I mean, there was a guy that actually started, his name was Tiger Dan, and he actually started making a flat Earth model. He was measuring the flight time distance between cities, and he got halfway through the map, and then he just disappeared. So you can make of that what you will, but I find that very curious. I mean, anybody that's trying to get to the bottom of what this actually, the actual dimensions of it is, you don't hear of them anymore.
Yeah, and people, that's what happens. Maybe what happened to him is that he realized that the Gleason circling model, maybe he realized, or he thought it was wrong, and he said, well, the Earth isn't flat because that's the only model that everyone's defending. But that's the trap, because maybe there's another model, there's another flat Earth motionless model that's not the Gleason circling. So,
question is, how the hell do we get to the bottom of it?
We have our Dave Marsh. He was on last night. Last year, he did a couple of moon races to see with when they were on different tropics what it all meant, because he was trying to prove the Gleason map. When he did his experiment, he knew that we weren't a Gleason map. What shape exactly we are, but we're not a circle. Not a circle.
Who did that? Sorry?
Dave Marsh. He was on last night with Mike Helmick.
Oh, and he doesn't believe the Gleason?
No, he was. He did his moon race to prove it, but the moon race proved we weren't on a Gleason map.
Ah, that's interesting.
He went to prove that we were.
Yeah, because I find it interesting. It's like, where did this model come from? Where did the Gleason, and how do they suddenly know the outer shape? Like, where's the proof and the expeditions to actually model this map? Who drew it? Because if you've got the outer Antarctica, where we can't go apparently, this ice wall, well, who measured all that, and who drew, how did it come about? How are we sure that that's like that?
Yeah, I've been looking at old maps as well. I've been showing an old map, the one with the North Pole, Hyperborea, these lands, the old maps that we're seeing from 1500, 1600.
Yeah, the what's it called? Yeah, I did a video on this. Yeah.
But you all know what I mean, don't you? It's kind of colourful. You can get colourful variations anyway. And I was showing one of these maps to a guy from Greenland to ask him if he knew of anything of these, lands, because apparently it was joined together to Greenland by some sort of like an ice bridge, And I wanted to know if he knew of anything, or if he'd heard of any folk tales or folk stories about his great grandparents or whatever, hearing stories of the long lost people in the north or whatever, but no,
there is a story, isn't there? There is a story called The Smoky God that talks about a voyage between a father and his son that go to the lands in the north. Yeah, that's fascinating.
Good, that. He's Swedish, actually, yeah.
Right.
But I mean, is it a story? or is it, you know, factual, like a diaries thing?
That's the problem, isn't it? Being conspiratorial minded, you just can't take any bit of information as rock solid.
No, I'm going to have to take that trip myself, you know.
Exactly. Yeah.
But that's another thing, right? Well, there are so many maps from way back when that depict this landmass at the top of the North Pole. So many, but yeah, when we look at present day maps, it's nothing. It's just like an ice sheet, you know. You get
it's been erased.
Yeah, it's just like get a rubber and rub it out, you know. It's nothing there now. Nothing to see here. Move along. Nothing to see here.
Yeah, I'm looking at ancient maps now, and I've got a ton of them up that show the 4 continents in the middle.
Yeah.
The 4, you know.
Mount Meru in the middle, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah, like they had this black mountain in the middle.
Yep.
That they call Rupes Nigra.
Yes. It's just odd, isn't it, that years ago it was there, and these people they weren't using like planes to fly over it, or Google or Frugal or Loopy or whatever it is they call it, you know. They were sailing around and using the stars, and like good old cartographers did back then. They'd map it out, you know, by as good as they could with their eyes, you know.
We need more. We need more millionaires in flat Earth and get someone to take a plane up there.
Oh yeah. Even in like a couple of drones or something, you know, little flights from a boat or whatever. Send it out, bring it back. Let's see what we've got.
Yeah.
There definitely needs to be more investigation up into the north anyway. And because we're more or less in the northern hemisphere, the most population on Earth, then I would say that it should be. I wouldn't say it's easy, but it's got to be easier to do it the north and investigate there than it is to go Antarctica and investigate, if you understand what I'm saying.
But they say that Joey's joined us. Are you showing us something, Joey?
Yeah, this is what I think it looks like. Can you guys see this? You guys see this on the camera?
Did that make you come back onto the panel, Joey?
No, I've been trying to come back on. I'm just having like so many. I think it's because of the hurricane they were having or something. It's just going in and out on its own. But I've been trying. Hey, but there's a guy that wants to join the show if you guys wanted to or not. He's an awesome flat earther named Alexander Morales, who's watching the show right now. And he speaks Spanish fluently. So if you guys do want, because I'm not a fluent Spanish speaker, if you guys do want another one, there's someone chopping at the bits to come on too.
No, Joey.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's an advocate. He's not just a flat earther. I mean, no one's just a flat earther, but he's like an advocate. Like he does debates and you know what I mean. He's solid. Yeah, he's solid.
We'll send him the link then.
Okay, I'll send him a link so you can speak in Spanish on here too. But hey, real quick, Oliver, do you subscribe to the Dome or any type of Dome? Or any?
Yes.
You notice how they always call it a blue marble? Well, you know, there's always hints inside their lies, right? Everyone calls it the blue marble, blue marble.
That's a good point, man. I never thought about that.
Well, check this out. A blue marble would be blue glass. Job 37:18 says the dome is made out of a molten lava looking glass, right? So what is molten lava? Well, that's glass. And what happens to glass when it's cooled rapidly? Well, it turns blue. Blue glass.
It hardens.
Yeah, it hardens and it turns into blue glass though. If you cool it slowly, it'll turn into black obsidian. Kind of fast, green or yellow. Really fast, like the conditions on the Antarctic, it would turn into blue obsidian. Think about this. The sky's blue.
Joey, I've got to correct you there, brother. You're wrong there. I used to work in a glass factory. I understand how hardening glass works. And if you heat up glass and cool it down very quickly, it toughens it, but it doesn't make any color changes. It's the same color. So,
have you ever worked with lava? Probably, you ever worked with lava or seen anybody work with lava?
No, I haven't.
Silicon and oxygen. So you can look this up unless you're disputing what the scientists say, which is fine with me. But blue obsidian is made under the conditions of actual lava being cooled extremely rapidly. That's how you get natural blue obsidian. I understand glass is similar to lava, but it's not exactly the same, right? But what I'm saying is that blue obsidian is made, when we have this natural blue obsidian, it's made by lava cooling off rapidly. I'm theorizing like in the conditions in the Antarctic, but in real life, when you cool lava rapidly, it turns into blue obsidian. So and that's a blue type of glass. And so what I was trying to say in that point is, think about it. They keep on calling it the blue marble. Job 37:18 says molten lava looking glass. So there you go, glass. and lava. But thirdly, why is the sky blue when we look at it? Why is the ocean and waters blue when we look at it, even though they're both clear? Well, some kind of bluish hue could be responsible for that. So anyways, just a theory I throw around because, you know, there's always truths hidden in their lies.
Yeah, that's actually a cool one. I never thought about that. I never heard it actually. But yeah, they always use, they like to like mock the masses. So they always use like these double names and stuff. Yeah.
I think that, you know, there's a good possibility that we could be living inside a sphere instead of on a sphere, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? Maybe the dome is, you know, goes all around, or, you know, who knows? But I do think there's something that you cannot penetrate. Otherwise, they wouldn't be faking, you know, rocket launches and space programs and outer space in general. And, you know, it also says in scripture on the book of Enoch that there's the skies actually end. There's a place where the skies end, you know, and there's nothing else beyond that. There's a place where the skies and the earth end. So that tells me there's probably some kind of limit.
Hey, and check this out. The book of Enoch was when Enoch went up to the heavens to get all this stuff, you know which angel took him up there, right? It was Uriel. And if you don't know who Uriel is in the Bible, he's basically the most hardcore, you follow the rules and that's all there is to it. So everything described in Enoch basically means that it's exactly to the T. It's just really hard for us to figure out. But when they're talking about the gates that it passes through and everything, wow, that's some thorough stuff.
Yeah, I mean, when I read Enoch, I was like, wow. And it all, you know, it all makes sense with the flat earth model, you know. It's like,
and look, and for those people who say Enoch shouldn't be part of the Bible, well, look, Uriel is who the angel that gave Enoch all this privilege. Not only that, but Uriel is the same angel that guarded with a flaming sword the cherubim, the Garden of Eden. That's how powerful he was, and that's how high ranked he was. He's also the same angel that went to see the lamb's blood painted on the door of the Egyptians, and went over there and slayed the rest. So he's a powerful angel. So the book of Enoch, that's one of the most powerful books there are, biblically speaking.
Yeah, 'cause I've mentioned this book in some of my videos, and I receive messages from people telling me, like, hey, it's not scripture, it's pagan, it's whatever. And I'm like, well, what proof do you have? You know, what inconsistencies you see with the Bible? And they never answer back. They just don't know. They've just been told not to read these books. Same with the Book of Jubilees.
Can I just say, wasn't there supposed to be 66 books removed from the original Bible, or am I wrong?
Well, if you look at the Dead Sea Scrolls, there was Enoch, Jubilees, I think the Book of Adam and Eve, and the Book of Giants, and some others. And what's interesting is that I've been reading other texts like I don't know how it's called in English, but the Torah is like the Jewish tradition. And it actually says, literally, God made the earth flat in the creation. I was like blown away. I read it the other day.
I read it too, brother.
And same with in the Quran. It says like Allah made the earth an expanse, you know? And it's like, wow. Amazing.
Cool. Always hidden in plain sight. Can I just say there's a couple of questions in the chat room. One's from Caroline. She said, would you mind asking Oliver or anyone what they think about the stars in the Southern Hemisphere question? And Peanuts wanted to know, what do you think of the 7 million humans? So it's 2 questions.
Well, as long as we know the South Pole is a hoax, then we can go from there. But a lot of people start getting on the point of, you know, why are the southern stars rotating a different direction? I'm sure that's what she's alluding to. Well, it's already been proven. It's actually just not that widely spread out in the flat Earth community, but it's already been proven that those videos that they showed us of the stars going the opposite direction were doctored and put in reverse. So whatever they were showing us was put in reverse, and it was proof of it is because when the video was analyzed of the stars going the opposite direction, you could see the taillights. You know, when it was at nighttime, so you can see the taillights on cars, and you can see that they were lit up, showing that they were showing it in reverse. So the stars don't go a different direction in the southern hemisphere. As long as we can get that straight, then I would like to know what the real question is, because usually that's what the question is how come they go the opposite direction when they don't?
What do you think? Here's another question that I get all the time, and I find it very difficult to answer. What do you think about the people on the outer edges not being able to see Polaris?
I would say Polaris is at zenith, correct? From what, you know, kind of whether there's a dome or not, it's somewhere in the middle at zenith, right above the North Pole. Well, yeah. I cannot see. I live here in Maui, and I cannot see the lights of another island that's even 40 miles away. The further you get away from your vantage point, you're just not able to see. You're just not able to see certain things. Like, for example, if you're in the mainland or wherever you're at, and you're driving a vast distance, and then all of a sudden, and it's nighttime. When you're driving up, eventually, sometimes the new city that you're coming into, eventually, all of a sudden, you see its lights up here. If you're too far away, just like with everything, you're not able to see it. So that's
it's a perspective.
It's just an easy description. Everything I think is so Occam's razor in the flat Earth, even eclipses and everything. It's just so easy. The simple answers, just like it appears, and just like our Zedic ancestors told us and taught us.
Very good.
I'm gonna give my opinion about the southern stars, and you know, I'm just not sure, as I said before, that you know, the typical flat Earth model is the correct one. So, I mean, you know, I've done videos defending the typical model and the southern stars, but you know, none of the explanations actually convinced me, because there was one that said that it's just perspective. And it's just, you know, but I've seen people, I know people that live in the Southern Hemisphere, and they've recorded these kind of rotations. So it's a bit problematic for this model. And, you know, that now that I discovered this thing that actually the luminaries go from east to west, I'm just not sure they keep making circles and never disappear. So if we take the model that the luminaries go from east to west, well, then there's 2 points in the sky. If we take north as being the upper edge and south, like in the compass, and south would be down. So now you've got 2 potentially points of rotations for the stars. But, you know, again, I think the luminaries work in very strange ways that we will never know for sure, like only God and Enoch saw how they work. So, you know, trying to figure it out and saying, well, it works like this, like that, you know, I don't think we're going to get any definitive conclusion. And it's a little bit of a trap, as I said before, because you get caught in that, and globers say, well, if you can't explain this, then the Earth is a sphere. It's not flat. No, you know, the luminaries are up in the sky, and we're talking about the surface level. So, you know, the mysteries of the skies and the luminaries, you know.
Hey, Oliver, what do you think about this then? From listening to people, if you're in, say, Arizona, they get to see a very distorted, huge Big Dipper, which part of the night goes down when it dips down like it does here, but it goes out of their view for a while and then comes back up, and it's huge. When I went to my friends in the top of Denmark a few years ago, I had to go down the garden to go and see the Big Dipper going round a bit further away from the house, but it was still quite big, but it was over there. But for me, it goes round my house. So what does that say? It's smaller in Denmark, it's much huger in America, and it goes round my house. So what does that say?
Yeah, like what were you saying, that it's not consistent with the Gleason model?
Well, you imagine they're not very far away, the stars. Other people are noticing they're not that many altitude balloons at night time, but I showed one and other people could see the stars on there. The balloon is about 17 kilometers up, and there are stars below the balloon. So if we've got the stars and you've got the stars and they've got the stars and America, what is it all?
Yeah, like there's people that say it's some kind of simulation where you have your own personal bubble.
You've actually just given me a little idea there, Karen. It could be nice, you know, like you're just saying, your Big Dipper is different than my Big Dipper, and it's different than, you know, Oliver's or Joey's or whoever's, right? That could be a good idea, that we take pictures of, let's say, the Big Dipper, for example, or, you know, any constellation, But we take a picture and we orientate it the way that, you know, we all have to orientate it the same way so that we get a nice picture, and we can see from the latitude and longitude where the picture was taken from, and compare them, you know, in that sense. How do they vary, you know? Would that be anything? I think it could be. And then obviously, if you're going to...
You can pick up the Big Dipper unless you've got good, you know, like a P900, I suppose.
No, but I mean, I can take a picture of the Big Dipper with my iPhone. We can all do that as long as we orientate it, you know, in a similar fashion, so that we all have some sort of reference point, you know, that we can. And also, base it from.
What I see the Big Dipper doing is, although it might be slightly on an angle, and I'm not quite in the middle of it, but it comes from going north, then it goes west to east, then it goes north to south, and then it goes east to west. That's what that thing does, even though it's twisting and turning. And on that side of the house, it's lower. And that side of the house, it's right up in the sky, twisting around. It's a most amazing set of stars. I suppose that's my favourite thing of all. Then comes the moon. Because we'd all like to know what that is as well.
Yep, the mystery. I mean, It's definitely close. It's close enough so we can zoom in with a P900 and see the details. So
yeah, there was also another question. I think the other one was about the 7 billion people, but that's again, like, I suppose that's too many. They're telling us there's too many people living here. What's your take on that? That was peanuts.
Like I mean, there's people that say that the hoax, right? It's like that in reality there's not so many people on Earth.
What you mean? They're always telling us there's a lot more than there really is.
Yeah, it could be I mean, I'm not saying that's the absolute truth, but it wouldn't surprise me if they were lying about the total population. Yeah.
Yeah, because I suppose really in the sort of after the Victorians, I'm not saying they all survived, but they all had loads of children. There could be 10, 12, 14 children in the family. I'm not saying all of them survived to being adults, but if they all had children like that, we don't have 14 children. We have 2.6, whatever it is.
Yeah, and if you think about, like, when a child is born, they're making money for the powers that be, aren't they? You know, the straw man. And obviously, the more births there are, then the greater the population is, and the more money they're going to make. You know, I'm sure it's something like that. If there aren't too many people on Earth, it's because they're trying to make more money out of those extra people that are not here, if you know what I mean. Straw men.
Just part of the lie, I suppose. What do you think, Alex or Joey?
Don't ask me. I'm just a musician.
Do you think that they're lying about the figures? You know, like they always, there's too many people, and then they think we're going to be exterminated.
Well, I'm with Oliver. It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me. I mean, everything's a lie, so I take everything with a pinch of salt. 7 billion? I don't know. I mean, even if there was 7 billion, calculating the land mass and the amount of people, I believe somebody did that calculation. It turns out that every single person would have a land mass the size of Texas. So there's no overpopulation. I don't know how true that is, but no, it wouldn't surprise me that they're lying about the numbers. Of course, they probably are.
Yeah, you only have to see, like, when you're sat on a train, you're driving, or you're, going on the train for hours and hours and hours, and all you can see outside is like fields and trees and forests. And
there you go.
You look at the size of Sweden. It's absolutely enormous, man. There's 8 million people living there, and most of them are living in Stockholm, Uppsala, and Gothenburg. And then dotted around in little towns with 45 people in them. It's massive, that country, and you're 8 million people. Look at the size of Britain. There's 60 odd million people living in Britain, isn't there? And it's a little pokey hole, man. Yeah. Numbers don't add up, that's for sure.
How many people are living here, considering how many, like, say, the population of Australia to the UK, and with this tiny little thing with all these people living on it? We've got one of the biggest no, we haven't got one of the biggest, because obviously it's places like India and China and that, but on the scheme of how big we are, we've got quite a big population, I think.
There you go. There's an idea for a new song there called Overpopulation is a Lie. Overpopulation is a lie.
That would be great.
Does anybody know how many people live in Mexico City? I've got in my head 50 million, but I'm probably wrong there. I mean,
No way. There's 50 million.
I don't know. I'm asking.
I mean, in Barcelona, I think there's 2.5 million, right?
I know Mexico is very, very. It's like one of the most overpopulated cities in the world, and I don't know why I had 50 million in my head. Probably I'm way off target there. But if anyone could look it up, that could be
8.8 million.
Same as London.
In Mexico City.
How many people live
This
in
is
Mexico?
2010, though. This is 2010.
Hey, I've got a real interesting little tidbits from NASA. You know how we talk about often in the community how the axis of Earth at 23.4 degrees minus the 90-degree angle comes up to 66.6, right? And we're like, whoa, it seems like it's some kind of, biblical prophecy, right? But you know what's even crazier? The sun's axis, according to NASA, is at 13.3, and the moon's axis is at 6.66 degrees. Crazy, huh? I never knew about the moon. I mean, that's pretty trippy.
Well, that's suspicious, don't you think?
Well, just like who was saying that the 66 books were taken out of the Bible? I don't know that for a fact, but if that's, anytime you see those numbers,
well, that's what I've heard. Yeah, that's what I've heard. They removed
and I can't confirm that, but you know what I mean? That's usually what you look for. That's like the Bible says the number of the beast is to be calculated. That means that's how NASA, who lifts up and deceives, is going to deceive us is by an actual numerical number. How crazy.
Yeah, they always put this 6. I did a video the other day where in one of these recent missions that they sent one of these satellites, and the presenter, the NASA worker, he was saying like, this mission has taken 6 months, 6 weeks, and 6 days. It's like, wow, dude. Give me a break. Give me a break.
What was that astronaut called? Peggy, was it?
She was 66 days in space. I mean, what a joke.
They have a telescope here on our island called Lucifer. You know what I mean? There's no way that could be an accident. Spelt out that way, there's no way.
That's true, and it's owned by the Vatican, isn't it?
Yep.
Guys, I'm gonna have to leave now because it's 12 o'clock here. People sleeping, so I can't talk more.
Oliver, it was an absolute pleasure to meet you, brother. I'm not subscribed to you. I didn't even know about you, man. But thank God you were born and you're out there fighting for the truth and doing it, brother. I'm stoked to meet you, man.
Thank you, man. Nice to meet you too.
Amigo.
Gracias. Gracias a ti.
Oh, we've lost Alex.
I came back. Yeah, I dropped out for a second there. Sorry, I don't know what happened there.
Oh, okay, you're back. Oliver, thank you so much for joining us anyway. That's really nice that you came on for a little bit.
Yeah, thank you, Oliver. Nice to hear from you, brother, and good information as well, always.
Thanks, man. Thanks to all of you. I hope to talk to you soon in another hangout.
Adios, amigo. Mucho gusto.
Adios. Good night. Good night.
Buenas noches.
What a stud. Wow, he's got 200,000 subscribers talking about flat Earth in a different language than we're all speaking. How wonderful. You know what I mean? That's awesome. I didn't even know about him until today.
Yeah, Oliver. I've known Oliver for a while now. I've known him, I don't know, probably a good year. And I knew him. He was coming on Hangouts with us before we went live on YouTube. So, yeah. But of course, look at the size of his channel.
Well, not only that, but you can tell by his really cool, calm demeanor. I mean, he's like, he's settled already. I mean, he's not excitable. He's really, really well spoken. So what a great advocate for the truth community too. He's bilingual, perfect, young. That's awesome.
Yeah, how old he is? He's about 27, 28.
How beautiful is that? That's so wonderful. I'm so excited.
Yes, plus he's a very nice-looking young man as well. So he's got it all going for him.
Yeah, that matters actually. If you're presentable looking, if you're good looking, you're well spoken. So you know what I mean. The fact that he has 200,000 subscribers and it's probably going to grow, and look how many people are already growing. That's just
I think law. So he'll be some kind of solicitor. That's what I think he's doing. But we all do our bit, and he's done really well. Where have you gone, Joey? I hate looking there and seeing everybody muted.
I'm not muted. I'm just being quiet, listening to.
Me too, Karen. I was just sitting here being quiet too, and my daughter's running around with no diapers on right now. So I figured, some people trip out on that stuff, you know. So I figured, until I get some diapers on her, I'll block the camera out.
Yeah, it's best.
Oh wow! Yeah, I was so glad to meet that guy. That's awesome. I got to get his information so I can subscribe. And everyone who's listening right now, of course, if you're not subscribed to Karen already, subscribe to Karen's channel, the Flat Earth Sun family. And then
we look a bit small compared to Oliver.
That's awesome. That's good news. We like having people that are trump us. You know what I mean? That are the same as us. Hey, but Karen, what's going on with the Canada conference? I haven't been able to keep up to date because yesterday I was super busy.
Well, Alex will tell you.
Yeah, let's hear it, Alex.
It's awesome, man. I mean, I've been watching it on and off. Globebusters just smashed it. They did an excellent presentation. They did like a live show. They had Iru on Link Up, and they had John the Moore guy on Link Up as well, and they just smashed it. And it was a fantastic presentation. Rob Skiba as well, from his biblical perspective. He smashed it. It was fantastic. You know, a lot of mainstream press there as well. A lot of the speakers were giving the press a hard time, you know, really going on the offensive, which I think is about time that the Flat Earthers took that stance instead of being so defensive all the time, and about really, you know, having a pop at the media, which I think is that was echoed a few times throughout the conference. I think it's still going on now, actually, but yeah, it's day 2. But so far, from what I've seen, just absolutely fantastic, and the response is getting is brilliant. You know, it's just.
Can I ask?
I just got off the phone with. I just got off the phone with Mac Fokker, you know, the Flat Earth Fokker. I'm sure you guys all know who he is, right? The legend, the one who does the flat smacking. He's over there. He just got, he's there for day 2, and he just got there, and he said it's awesome. The energy is super exciting and stuff like that. So that's good to know.
Yeah, I think there were about, I don't know, maybe 300 people there that had bought tickets and turned up. But of course, you know, it's being streamed as well. A lot of people are going to mirror their parts on their channels, and of course with the mainstream. And who cares what they say about it? You know, who cares if they go away and write their little hit piece?
Good news is good news. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, because, you know, they can write their little hit pieces and everything, but we know we've got the truth and we've got the whole interviews on here. So, you know what? They can spin on their little fingers, can't they? You know, they'll just get called out, man, and say, you know what? You're lying. You mainstream media, you're lying because I didn't say that, or we didn't say that. We said this, and then play the clip. This is exactly what we said, you know. So if anyone,
you can't stop the truth.
Exactly. If anyone's being interviewed, make sure your interview is being recorded by your own mobile phone, or someone else is recording you being interviewed. So we're always covered that way, you know. Cover your asses.
But yeah, fantastic energy there from what I've seen, and you'll be able to catch up on YouTube because a lot of people will be posting it afterwards, so you'll be able to see.
And then when it comes to November, we'll be doing it for you, Alex. Alex is going to the November Denver meeting, and he's going to be singing there.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm a bit nervous, but you know what? It's probably going to be the biggest thing I've ever done. You know, I feel like my whole life has been leading up to this point. You know, as I said before, Flat Earth has given me this huge creative burst.
I feel the exact same way as you, brother.
Yeah, and there are no coincidences, Alex. There are no
I feel that exact same way. Everything in my life, you know, this is it. All my eggs are in this basket. Everything, because this is the answer. So yeah, I feel that same way, brother. It's exciting.
I'm just doing my bit musically, you know. I'm going to get out there. I'm going to belt out a couple of my tunes, sell a bit of music, and, you know, hopefully reach a few minds.
Yeah, I think you've done that, James. I think, well, Joey has. Oliver definitely has, hasn't he? So, yeah, we very much appreciate all that you do in your way.
You know what I wanted to...
Sorry. Go for it.
Sorry about that. I was getting excited. Go ahead and finish. I'll remember what I was going to say.
You can carry on now.
Okay. What I was going to say is when, who was it that was saying earlier that the people were too excited at the Flat Earth conference? They were supposed to tone it down. Somebody said that. I forget who it was. Were you conspiracy theorist or somebody said that? But anyways, a lot of the people, because I have a Flat Earth clothing store at the mall, right? And so I talk to people every day. And most of the people nowadays that I'm talking to that are Flat Earthers, that are recent Flat Earthers, they always tell me when I ask them how they heard about it, I'm expecting like Jeranism or, you know, something like that. they always say stuff like celebrities, like, oh, B.O.B. mostly B.O.B. is waking these people up. Isn't that crazy? It's like, it's amazing. So all these celebrities and all us truthers with our own diversity. Oh, and the reason why I'm bringing that up is because there is a necessity for those that are brash to bring out their brashness, and there is a necessity for those that are like D Marble to bring out their respectiveness. And I just think that all of us just unloading all of our different energies is needed, because a lot of people that I know for sure wouldn't want to sit down and listen to Mark Sargent, for some reason listens to Delano TV. Delano TV, he doesn't talk about facts. He just, he just talks raw. So I think it's good actually that people are feeling at least brave enough to be vocal. That's all.
And also, Joey, is this lava still going mad?
Yeah, it is still going mad. It's completely died down and slowed down. Well, it didn't completely. It slowed down and died down to like almost like a halt, like a standstill. But it's reactivated, and well, not reactivated. It's resurged. So it's still going on, and that's the reason why I think that there's a hurricane being drawn to the island, because all that moisture. But it's still going on, Karen.
It's a bit worrying. I mean, surely the island must have grown by half by now.
Well,
I mean, that stuff is not just out a dribble, is it? It's flowing out like mad.
Yeah, but not by population, because as you know, locals are moving off the island really fast. My tour guide, remember my tour guide, Karen, Eco, the one that took me out there and had a few problems with me afterwards. He didn't, the tour guide who took me out to the Big Island, he didn't like the way that I conveyed the story afterwards. He thought that he basically thought I was exaggerating too much. So maybe I was, because it was super exciting. But Eco himself, he moved from the Big Island because it's too dangerous. So look, and he knows lava like the back of his hand, and he knows better. So he moved off of the island already. He moved to Yellowstone. So it's a real thing. It's a real danger. And
a lot of islanders are leaving.
They have to, but it's really crazy. There's a lot that aren't leaving because they're hoping that maybe it just won't affect their area. But as soon as it gets closer to the neighborhoods and widens out, those families are continuing to move and continuing to move. So we'll see. I hope to God it slows down and stops. But of course you have to leave if it's flowing like that, if it's catching up to your neighborhood. So Fissure 8, as it keeps on flowing out, it's slowly widening. And that's the problem. The stream isn't really so dangerous because it's going out to the ocean. But where it's capturing is as it widens out slowly but surely, that's how it's affecting the neighborhoods. So it's really weird. The straight stream isn't really destroying the island. It's the byproduct of it widening out that's starting to take over the island. And it's crazy. There's nothing you can do to stop the lava flow.
No, because it's going so fast.
Yeah, I didn't believe how fast it was going.
Joey wanted to see for himself whether this volcano was flowing like they said it was, because he couldn't believe it, because he's been a tour guide there and he's seen it many times. And very often the lava's always been moving, but it's so slow, it's a bit boring usually. So that's what he was kind of saying, is if people were going on tour guides, when he went over there, because he thought that they were over dramatizing it, but he went over there and captured it himself, and it is flowing just like they say it is. Yeah. Which was a bit of a shock, wasn't it, Joey? You're muted.
Yes, Karen, it was quite a shock actually, because it wasn't necessarily because I had to eat crow, because I was telling everybody that they were liars like NASA, and I was like calling the guy who shot the video liar. So it wasn't really so much of a shock of me realizing I was wrong, because I thought I was wrong for a good reason, because it's never been acted like that, right? And that's not how lava behaves. But getting there and seeing it, oh my God, it's just like, I was making fun of it because I'm like, yeah, right, it's going as fast as a major league pitcher can throw a ball. There's no way, you know what I mean? It didn't make sense in my mind, because of the 12 years I've been going back and forth to the Big Island. It's never done anything to been extremely slow moving. Color black, because it's so slow moving, it doesn't get
to me, it just looked like death.
Oh, yeah, you saw my 12-minute video, right, Karen, where
Yeah.
there's like telephone poles coming down and stop signs melted. People's houses, you can see just a little bit of the foundation that's left where the lava flow completely overturned it. And Karen, I just put a link in your message box. If you want to, I posted my 45-second video of just the lava flow that Facebook allowed me to have. If you want to show it, you can, so everyone can see how crazy it is over there. But that's my favorite one. It's actually 48 seconds. And it'll show you up close, Fissure 8, how extremely crazy, strong, and fast it is flowing. At that time, they were saying, the volcanists were saying that it was flowing close to 100 miles per hour, 80 to 90 miles an hour. That's so fast. The world record before that time, I believe, on recorded history was about 40 to 60 miles per hour, but that was just in bursts. This has been going this speed continuously. So I don't know. That's why I speculate, Karen, that we're in some type of revelations. It's just, you know, it's too crazy, all the fires that are going on and the floods and hurricanes and who knows, crisis actors.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's quite a lot of people that believe in that.
Can you play that? Karen, are you allowed to play that clip?
I'm just trying to get it up, get the thing up, Joey. It's just taking ages.
Okay.
And it's probably going to play straight away. So, and we're on like we're live. Computer's just really slow. There's too much going on. I think I'm recording as well. See, so that's because we're on Hangout. Oh, it's come up now. I don't know if it'll play it, Joey.
No problem.
Can I put it in the chat?
Yeah, just put it in the chat.
I'll just put it in the chat room because it's just taking ages.
Perfect.
I'll just get it on, and then everybody can see it at their own, you know, discretion. Then without me fumbling around, I'll just get the message and put it in the chat room.
Basically, the only point is that when you see that video coming from me, I'm a truther, you can believe it's true. So obviously, what they're showing in the news is usually lies, right? But in this case, what they're showing us with the Big Island on the news, the lava is actually devastating the island. So that's why I doubted it. So I wanted everyone to, you know, just click on the link if you doubt what's going on over there to be true, because, you know, I went over there myself and I doubted it too, but it actually is literally true.
Yeah, and it's not stopped. That's the really crazy thing. Yeah, it's not slowing down, is it?
I know. It's like the fires in California. You know, it's like, what's happening here? You know, and you know what? You know how you've been mentioning a lot, Karen, how hot it is. Well, man, I mean, it's like all this heat that's going on from the lava. What's actually going on in Yellowstone is legitimate too. I'm not sure if anybody's looked into what's happening in Yellowstone right now, or for the last month and a half, but all the geysers are starting to spew out tons of smoke and ash, and you know, these fires all over the world. You know, if we're in a contained environment, we sure are heating things up, and that's maybe why it feels so hot.
Yeah, I think they've been sort of saying like our temperatures are sort of this degrees and this hot, but you ask anybody here, it's felt a lot hotter than that. You know, than they're telling us. You know, like the temperatures on the phone, when you look up what's the temperature around you, it'll say, you know, 24, whatever it is degrees, but it feels like about another 10 degrees hotter than that. Just so hot.
I agree, I know. What's up, Flat Earth Dude, in the comment section?
Yeah, I'm just going to try.
And you know what's funny? Since you mentioned that, I heard you mentioning this like for the last week or so about how it seems so hot. I actually felt the same way too. I just never really thought about it. I just kind of dealt with it. But it is true, and a lot of people keep saying the same thing. So, you know, who knows? But it would be reason for it. There's a lot of fire going on this flat Earth that we live on. You know, so maybe it's all the smoke. You know, it's heating up.
I don't know what it is. Do you think it's hotter at all, Alex, or not? Is it any hotter in Spain for longer, or is it just because we're noticing it all, you reckon? I don't know.
I think it's probably because you're noticing. I mean, to me, it's just hot every year, particularly August, particularly now. I mean, I looked at my thermometer today. It was in the sun. It was 43 degrees, in the shade about 34. that's about normal, I think. I mean, you do get exceptional nights when it's really, really muggy and really close and really humid. But I don't know. I mean, this is Spain. We, in the particular area I'm in, we have 320 days on average per year of sunshine. So we get a lot of it. You know, it's called sunny Spain for a reason. So I haven't personally. You're probably just noticing it more because you've had a heat wave, and that's so abnormal for the UK. That's probably why you're going. You know, why you're talking about it a lot.
Yeah, but what is a heat wave? You know what I mean? What is a heat wave, brother?
We've had it for like 3 or 4 months.
What a heat wave is, I wouldn't know.
Astral hotter.
I'm like saying, like, rhetorically, you know what I mean? Like because we don't know what a heat wave is, right? So it's like, what is a heat wave? And we know the sun isn't a ball of fire, you know. So like, what's causing these heat waves is just an expression for basically it's heating up tremendously.
Well, it could be like solar flares, you know, radiation emitted from, yeah.
But solar flares, like,
because they do increase the temperature. I don't think there's such thing as solar flares. Really?
Yeah, because whenever you take an astronomer's telescope, tons of flat earthers have done it, and you put whether you put the screen on there or not, either way, you never, ever, ever see the sun emitting any type of flares. Never, ever, ever. Only on NASA video. So amateurs just show it basically as being some kind of light. So I don't believe in solar flares whatsoever.
Can I just say, Joey, we had Joe Hill on last night, and he was doing the eclipse, and he captured something which looked like a sun flare. It's on. You look up. I'll try and remember to send you the link.
Yeah, it wasn't like a solar flare. It was a solar flare. You could see it was an emission coming from off the sun anyway, weren't it? You know, plasma or whatever it is.
Very well. You know what? It definitely
some sort of reaction anyway.
It could be, but you know what? It also could be, and not saying it's not true 100%, but it could be, even though it's true, it could be because of what was happening with the eclipse. Because normally on a regular basis, if you look at the sun without any eclipse happening with an amateur astronomer's telescope, you won't see any sun flares. So I'm not doubting that his video showed anything like that. I'm sure it did, obviously, you know, but it was probably something having to do with the eclipse. But on a regular basis, just, you know, look at any amateur astronomer's telescope footage, and you won't see any solar flares coming out whatsoever. So that's why I'm like, they're hoaxing us about that. I mean, there may be solar flares that happen.
If you go to Sun and Moon and just go to Joe Hill, and it's I'll tell you what it's called. Oh, I'll just grab it for you.
Just grab it for him, Karen.
Even better. Yeah.
But here's another thought that I have, right? In the winter, the sun is much closer to us in the northern hemisphere than in the winter. In the summer. So how is it that we get hotter in the summer and not in the winter? It's just totally wrong. I mean, and that is a fact. The sun is closer to us. I think, is it? I don't know.
400 Earth diameters, isn't it?
Yeah, but I'm just thinking how much closer it is in the winter time than the summertime. The sun is closer to us in the winter time in the northern hemisphere than in the summertime.
Well, maybe the further
we're getting the opposite what we should expect to be getting.
That's a great question. Maybe the further away it is, the more magnifying effect it has.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It's got to be something to do with, you know, that magnification through the atmospheric. Yeah.
Eric Dollard says that the sun is temperature-wise cold, anyways, and that its light is what's emitting something. So it's, you know, maybe the further away.
Yeah, there's another thought I've also had years ago. When you go up, like top of a mountain, it's freezing, man. Well, you're closer to the sun. So how does that work?
All I know is
down on the beach in Greece or Spain, it's
the higher the sun is, the nicer weather we have.
Yeah, but I'm kind of thinking there must be some sort of an electromagnetic, some sort of a reaction when the sun is playing against the earth. You know, when the sun it's doing something with the earth. You know, so that's what's heating up.
The Big Island of Hawaii has the tallest mountain in the world, Mauna Kea, right? And when I've been over there a few times before to Mauna Kea, to the top,
the tallest mountain in the world is Everest, isn't it?
No. Everest is the highest. It's from seashore, measuring it from its base to the top.
Oh, forgive me, I didn't know that.
No, a lot of people don't know that. But but it's okay. Basically, the only point is, I mean, it's a technicality, that's all. But so it's the tallest mountain in the world, right? And on the very top of it's almost always snowing, right? And it's crazy how it's freezing up there, but then you go to the bottom and it's so hot that you got to put on, you know, your swim trunks and go in the ocean. And it's on the very bottom of the mountain. You can go get a suntan, and on the very top you can go snow skiing. It's crazy, right? Just because of elevation. So you would think you're closer to the sun, but maybe the closer you are to the sun, the less magnification that can occur, and that's what it's due to. Who knows?
I think we live in a very small sort of channel of life, if you know what I mean. You can only live so, you know, that area will only go so far up for us to live. It's a very small, channel of life, isn't it? That's what I think anyway. Yeah, I've sent you the link, Joey. Yeah, it's more towards the end, and he was actually showed it again on the Hangout last night, but it's towards the end of that little video. But the beginning bit you might like as well.
I'll watch the whole thing. I love Joe Hill. Joe Hill's awesome. He's one of my favorite Facebook friends.
Yeah, I think he really enjoyed it last night when he came on, because, you know, there were other people just like him and loads of camera people with like experiments and doing their own thing, and he loved it.
I wanted to join so bad. I was working all day yesterday, but I was so bummed that I missed it because, you know, Joe Hill's one of my favorite guys, and this is my favorite family. So I'll watch the whole thing.
We're your favorite family, are you? That's good then. Alex.
Hello.
Yeah, you've been a bit quieter now. You were talking a lot more before. I don't know how much longer you wanted to stay on, because you said you had to get up early in the morning.
Yeah, that's probably why I'm not talking so much now, because it's getting late and my energy levels are like, oh, I think I'm going to have to call it a night. I think, yeah, I do have to be up early in the morning, so I might dip out now if that's cool with everyone.
Yeah, Joey, do you want to say any more, or do you think that we finish now?
No, that was great. I was loving listening to everything. Love all the people that are out there watching, and thank you guys, Karen, for doing this, for making this platform. I always want to say that Karen needs to make sure and get credit by giving her subscriptions, thumbs up. She's the only one that's out here doing this right now, giving us all a platform. So, Karen, thank you, and thank you, Conspiracy Guru, brother. I'm a huge fan of yours.
Oh, thanks, man. Likewise, man. It's nice to meet you.
Patricia, all of you guys, but Conspiracy, you're the man, brother. Thank you so much.
Man.
We're all fans of each other.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, Joe. Thanks for coming on, Alex. It's been great. Hey, can we not get a new song, another song before you go? Can we not hear a satellite hoax or something?
Oh, man, it's late.
Oh, we could end on a song, couldn't we? Or will you annoy your neighbours?
Oh, no, I'm in my studio, so it's pretty quiet in here. But, yeah, I can give you another song. I think it'll be
right.
Thanks, man. Thank you. Sorry for asking.
Flat smacked. You've been flat smacked.
Oh, man, it's going to be a tired, half-assed attempt, but...
A Conspiracy Guru. Oh, never mind. Go for it. Go for it, Conspiracy.
Awesome. Mute your mics.
Okay, yeah, right. Here's a song about a revolution. Here we go. Don't you know, talking about a revolution sounds like a whisper. Don't you know, talking about a revolution sounds like a whisper. While they're standing in the welfare lines, crying at the doorsteps of those armies of salvation, wasting time in the unemployment lines, sitting around waiting for a promotion. Don't you know, talking about a revolution sounds like a whisper. Poor people gonna rise up and get their share. Poor people gonna rise up and take what's theirs. Don't you know you better run, 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 run. Yeah, I said you better run, 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 run. 'Cause
starting to turn. Talking about a revolution, oh no. Yes, finally the tables starting to turn. Talking about a revolution, oh, while they're standing in the welfare lines, crying at the doorsteps of those armies of salvation, wasting time in the unemployment lines, sitting around waiting for a promotion. Don't you know, talking about a revolution sounds like a whisper. Poor people gonna rise up, get their share. Poor people gonna rise up and take what's theirs. Don't you know you better run, 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 run. Yeah, I said you better run, 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 run. It's finally the tables starting to turn. Talking about a revolution, oh. Yes, finally the tables starting to turn. Talking about a revolution, oh. Talking about a revolution, oh. Talking about a revolution, oh.
Chee-hoo! Awesome.
That was
Thank you.
fantastic, man. Absolutely fantastic. You even sounded like it at times.
That was beautiful.
Yay! That was brilliant.
That really, to me, a little bit almost was Tracy Chapman-esque, a little bit in the
Yeah.
deepness of how you were singing it. It seemed a little different than your usual songs. That was awesome, brother.
Yeah, thank you,
seriously,
man.
Seriously good.
Yes, you haven't done you haven't done your accent, have you? You haven't sung like that tonight. You've sung, yeah, as Alex.
Yeah, I've got a few different. I'll do a bit of, when I did Bob Marley, I've got kind of a Marley. I try and emulate the original artist a little bit, so it's a little bit more familiar. And in there, I'm a little bit Tracy Chapman-esque, as Joey said. But yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Thanks, guys.
Awesome.
Thank you, Alex.
You
Thank
are
you,
And
brother Alex.
you are welcome. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Patricia, I know she's been a bit quiet, but she's there or been there. And thank you, Astral.
Thank you, Karen.
Astral, I haven't told you, but it looks like we're back on tomorrow if you want. It looks like we've got the Morgile.
Great.
5 p.m. UK time tomorrow out there. So, yep, he's just sorted it out with me on message. But anyway, thank you to everybody. Alex, mwah. And good luck with all your recording and sorting those videos out.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having us on, and I look forward to the next time.
Yeah, we do too.
And Joey as well. Thank you, Joey, for all you do. And thank you, chat room. In the chat room, there's bling bling. Mwah, bling bling. Mwah. There's Gathica, Lee, James, Nimble Horse, Swally Tricks.
James Mason. Remember, everybody in the chat room, hit the thumbs up button, please. It's only 37 likes.
Midic. Anyway, thank you so much, everybody in the chat room. Thank you, everybody on the panel. Looks like we're back tomorrow now. Anyway, take care. Much love. Mwah.
Bye.